And
I was kind of
we're
hoping that was already.
And
Okay, hello
sorry.
everybody.
Wait, we're not offline yet. YouTube takes a little bit. Okay.
Honestly, I was kind of hoping that was said on the stream. It would have been fantastic. It really would have. Don't lie. Fantastic.
All right, the audio is coming up good on YouTube. We've got 0 watchers so far, but that should change in a second.
Hopefully, otherwise it'll end up like my entire YouTube career.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's right. Should we give you our YouTubes to link in the description?
Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
I only use mine to watch.
Yeah, but I mean, I do like mediocre gameplay and stuff.
That's fair. Yeah.
Plus, I was planning on
the chat's getting active now.
Oh,
Hello,
boy.
everybody.
It's me, Mario.
Hello.
Not again.
Not again.
YouTube, I can't handle the reverb.
I can't believe you said not again.
Actually, I'll open YouTube on my laptop.
That's what I'm gonna do too.
What's up, everybody? Oh man, there's a lot of people. Can't say that to everyone, but I will try.
How many people are here?
We've got
I'm
14
about to open it up
so
on my
far.
computer.
Oh,
How's
I
everyone
just
doing
joined
today?
on my computer through a different account, so.
Nice, up those viewer numbers.
I'll give this stream a like because I'm in it.
Wait,
Nice.
can you have YouTube open and playing the same video in 2 different tabs on the same computer from 2 different accounts?
Yes. Well,
Probably,
you have
yeah.
to. You might have to go incognito. For the
I can do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because I have 3 Gmail accounts.
Again, I'm gonna beat you by saying 6.
Awesome,
Nice.
we got 28 people now.
Ooh,
I guess
a
this
lot
is
of
as good a time as any to introduce this amazing podcasting crew. So, hello everybody, and welcome to Braincast. I know, such a clever name. I came up with it all myself. You can applaud at any time. There we go. That is exactly the pity applause I was looking for.
Right as you said that, I accidentally knocked my phone over.
A sign of things to come, everyone.
That's about right.
May I
Oh,
mention
God.
that I'm loving the picture that you put up.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Clear Canvas made it.
I love the way that you're covering a certain
Jaden.
someone's face.
No.
Jaden.
Understand? It's because we're not worthy. That's why I made that one.
No!
You're welcome for putting that image in your head. We're not worthy of seeing his face.
I took it as a thing as like, no.
You can't censor our God. You can't censor our Lord and Savior.
Never. He will not allow it.
I literally just spit up my drink.
What a start.
How many people are just hearing us giggle our asses off?
36. And counting.
42.
I'm very sorry. I laugh very, very, very easily.
Well, that's good. It makes for an entertaining podcast. So, I guess we should introduce you. I guess we should introduce you all to these lovely 38 viewers as of right now.
Actually, it's 45 now.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love
47.
it. I love it. So, as some of you may know, I held a viewer competition some 2 months ago, maybe, and these are some of the wonderful winners of that competition that are now appearing on my first of several podcasts where we can talk about Rangers and whatever else that comes to mind. Hopefully the conversation just flows naturally, but we will see. So,
Probably not.
first on the docket is one of the better artists I know, good old Clear Canvas. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing okay. I don't really have much to talk about, and I just messed up on my Minecraft farm.
Great start.
I don't know how to do social activity.
Relatable.
And next we got Disney
That's the
fan
one good.
analyst, also known as Amanda. How you doing?
Hi, I'm here. I'm well. Spring break is fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
And next we got
Brain, your mic's going out on my end again.
Oh no, is that the case for everyone else too?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oei vey.
No.
Das ist nicht gut.
Is it better
If
now?
anybody wants to know how we'll have to hear you continuously talking.
Yeah.
All right, I will
Yeah.
continuously talk then. So
Fantastic.
next we got NewMillenial. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome,
I'm
awesome.
doing my masters after grueling 8 weeks of masters work. Finally.
Oof.
I know the feeling, my friend. I know the feeling.
I do not envy you.
And last but certainly not least, we've got Vampeneze Lord.
Vampeneze.
Oh,
It just said
already
at least.
failed. Already
You cut out
failed.
again.
Josh. Just call me Josh.
All right,
Wow.
we got Josh here.
Amazing.
It's a lot easier to say than Vampeneze.
You're not wrong.
You're absolutely not wrong.
Companies.
It's
Yes.
from a book I read as a kid. Darren Shan.
Sounds familiar, actually. I think I might have. As a
Darren
kid.
Shan.
Good news, everyone. We
Yeah,
actually
John.
got 53 people here now on this.
Ooh, so they
glorious-
get to hear us. They get to hear us all mess up simultaneously.
Mine says 59, but it's also like
Oh,
cutting
I
out and going back in. So maybe not.
Who knows? Well, they do, but we don't.
Yep.
Awesome.
Should we
So,
get started?
yes, let us do it.
Yeah,
So, on this podcast, we're of course going to talk about the glorious thing that is Power Rangers. So, what better place to start than talking about everyone's favorite season and maybe why that season resonated so powerfully with our wonderful podcast guests. So, who would like to start?
The silence of socially awkward people.
Mhm. We're all geeks. I don't think
Right
any of us
now,
want to
I'm-
talk first.
Right now, I just got out of my social awkwardness phase.
All right, I'll start then. Okay, my when I was a kid, my favorite at the time was Mystic Force, not because Nick was our Lord and Savior, but at the time. But it was because that was like the main show that was on. So that and the Power Rangers Mighty Morphin movie from 1995 were my absolute favorites. Like Ivan Ooze will always be my favorite villain. But when I really got into Power Rangers again, it ended up being RPM because not only do I like more dark themes in like novels, if you've ever read the Warrior Cats series, or a hidden gem by George Patterson, Witch and Wizard. It has a lot of dark themes about like the end of the world and how everybody has to actually come together, and like how their magic is simply just being human. That sort of thing kind of carries through. Even though I really hate James Patterson. But I'm not going to get political today.
Smart,
Nice.
smart.
Yeah, I do not want to anger 53 strangers on the internet.
62 now.
Oh, God.
They're multiplying.
Oh.
Where are they all coming from?
From the woodwork.
So, who wants to go next?
Okay, so, I might ramble a little bit. So if I start to do that, just cut me off. I will not
Breathe,
be offended.
Fran.
Thank you.
Perfect reference.
And that's a perfect segue because one of my favorite seasons is Jungle Fury. It's like
That
the
was
one
a
that
bit
calls back the
bland.
most nostalgia for me, and I love the Casey and the Jared like
the
perpendicular is not the right word.
character
That's
foil.
geometry.
The character
Yeah.
foil.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and I And I love how they managed to tie practically every character into it in some way. Like RJ still, like, even though he's the mentor sort of, and he is supposed to already know what's going on, he still has some growth to do, and he still has to learn to like forgive his dad, and he still has to learn that like there's more to the story than like what he wants to see, which is kind of what I saw like Jungle Fury being, is that there's always going to be more to the story than what you want to accept at first. But I also really love RPM, and I really love Dino Thunder, and Time Force is just epic. So the order of which, the order of what they're in for my favorite series always changes. So, yep.
Awesome. I couldn't help getting Brody flashbacks when you said epic, but that is neither here nor there.
Yeah. No. Sorry. Before we talk about the next Ranger season, every time that you say "Dad, no," in the Discord, I know that you're talking about whenever Brody goes, "Dad, no."
Yeah.
like he's scolding a puppy for wetting the carpet or something.
Yeah.
But for some reason I only can picture it in like this really unenthusiastic, tired way, like, "Dad, no."
It would work all the same, given Brody's character.
Yeah. To be fair, he is. He actually talks like he's sleeping half the time.
He really does.
The writers really dropped the ball.
Right, so who's next?
I don't know.
NewMillenial.
NewMillenial
Okay.
go next. All right, floor is yours.
So I've recently had like a really recent appreciation for Mighty Morphin Season 3. That's like the season in which there were multiple story arcs. The destruction of the Thunder Zords, the introduction of the Ninja Quest, and then finally Cat. Then Cat appeared, then a different shade of pink. Then the Zeo Crystal arc. That was like 2 or 3 episodes, and then finally the Alien Ranger saga. So somehow I found that like every season after that has followed a major arc has taken something from that season. So yeah, and that was also like the season with the least amount of Sentai footage at the time.
That's fair.
Nice, very nice. I like it. It's an unorthodox answer, and I like it.
Okay, Josh, you're next.
Floor is yours,
It's
Josh.
obviously it's Megaforce.
It was only a matter of time.
No, the way that he said that so nonchalantly. Like, not only like it wasn't a big deal, but like we already knew.
Why would it be?
Yeah.
Right, so as a kid it was Dino Thunder, but even looking back I like it because it takes what Mighty Morphin did but makes it better in a way because they've got better actors, better special effects. Like, I think White Thunder is probably a better version of Green with Power by miles. I'll always think that. I think the teenagers with attitude for Dino Thunder was better pulled off. But right now it's probably Jungle Fury because of how Casey grows massively from being the underdog to being basically the master.
Yes.
Speaking of teens with attitude, did anybody else think that their attitudes were like really just one note for most of it though? Like, I no disrespect for you saying like the Mighty Morphin seasons were your favorite. I completely get it. I just went through Zeo and I'm actually enjoying Turbo, the latter half of it after the original team leaves. But
I have my own fan fiction about what happened.
Holy Echo, you sound like God.
Jaden, is that you?
That's because I'm sitting in a huge room.
No. The two amazing things about that was I did not mean to say holy like that, and and two, he really does.
Can you just imagine God looking down and going, "I wrote a fan fiction."
Oh my god! Have
If
you
it was
met?
written by God, wouldn't it just be reality?
No. That's what our dreams are for. And of course, everybody dreams of Jaden.
Why wouldn't you?
Have you met my other son?
No, he doesn't get dreams. He gets nightmares.
Oh yeah, no, he has nightmares about Decker. That's the other thing. I like that. I'm glad that
He
they
gets
changed.
nightmares about Decker, then he goes to fight Decker for the million.
I'm really glad that they actually changed Decker's name from Juzo because I feel like too many people would not understand that Juzo just means manly in Japanese, and two, way too many Tokyo Ghoul fans probably watch Power Rangers.
Mhm.
Cough, cough. I'm a Juzo cosplayer.
Nice.
Good way to plug that in.
That was so subtle.
Okay.
So what's
But-
your favorite season Disney bring?
Lost Galaxy. He says in
Huh.
every video.
I
Yeah.
wonder.
Watch his
It's
channel
his
or what?
podcast.
I think it might actually be almost every Rangers video. Almost.
I don't think it's
Actually,
Well, almost.
oh, wait a second. Let me find the list. And I
You have the wait. You counted?
Wait,
No,
wait,
I will
what?
go through. I will go through the
Oh my-
Ranger videos and see if I can remember him mentioning that Lost Galaxy is his favorite. Because I'm not
Really
going to go
hope
through and
you
watch
find
them all right
something
now.
like
But
SPD or
Terrible.
something.
See, that's the thing though. Is that SPD, as much as I liked it, it really didn't stick with me half the time because, I mean, to be honest, like, this is where it gets a little bit personal, but I'm not going to stay on this for long. Like Police, as much as I respected them, I didn't really have a very great, like, mental image of them growing up for various reasons. But, like, whenever, like, yeah, like the whole what was it? Piggy says, that to the monster, to them, they're the monsters, and that was probably the thing that really stuck with me the most, is because, like, especially nowadays with how tense everything is, but like they're still the most they're one of the most respectable professions to really have.
True that.
My dad is an ex-cop in Britain.
Oh,
That's
nice.
just a cool fact.
Well, my brother's a Marine, and he's coming home day after tomorrow.
Oh, that's
Hey,
awesome.
Well,
congratulations.
not from active deployment. He's coming back for truck driving, but he's going to be in the reserves. So, yeah, he just he's finishing up with his advanced training. So
That's
yeah,
cool,
That's
though.
still cool.
yep.
So do we know how many
So,
times I said Lost Galaxy is my favorite season?
Well, so I don't think
Okay.
that you said it in your Operation Overdrive review. So
He
that
did.
would be one.
He
Are
did
you
mention
sure?
it. Yes,
did?
he did. He definitely did. He
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
because, like, it was whenever he mentioned how it possibly should have been like a space exploration thing, and they have to visit Mirador because that pretty much writes itself.
Oh yeah, that
see.
was in the
I'm
first.
kind of
one.
ashamed that was your actual quote, wasn't
It's
it?
pretty
You
close.
mentioned
It's
it
pretty
in
close,
the
I think.
at the end of the In Space review, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he mentioned
Pretty sure.
because it led to his favorite season of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind
Did
of.
he mention? Did he mention it during the Dino Thunder review?
Yeah, I think he did whenever he was.
I like how this is what we're discussing now.
Okay, I have to think about it for the Dino Thunder because there was, like, yeah, you were talking. I think it was you were talking about the guilt that Tommy should have faced whenever, like, in
Oh, yeah.
comparison to,
Yep.
like, it was either in comparison to Corone and how she felt about being astronomer, or something else about how they had to get over the loss of everything.
That
Clear,
sounds like
definitely,
something I would
yeah.
write.
Mm. Wait, I found a video that you didn't mention it in, I think.
Oh wow, that's a
It'd
rare
be
find.
the top 10 through 6.
No, he mentioned it. He definitely did.
Honestly,
No, that doesn't count. And I'm pretty sure that he did mention it anyway. I'm pretty sure that he mentioned it because what was it? It was either Time Force or no, Time Force was on that was number 2, I think. Or no, Time Force was number 3, RPM was 2, and then In Space was number 1. But it was either not Lost Galaxy.
I thought it was 5.
Yeah, Lost Galaxy was 5, but there was one of the other Ranger seasons that he managed to relate it in somehow. Or was Jungle Fury 5? Or no, Jungle Fury was 4.
Yeah, Jungle Fury was 4.
Yeah, Jungle Fury was 4. Lost Galaxy was 5. What was number 6 in the list?
I think that was Dino Thunder.
Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was Dino Thunder. I know that Dino Thunder, SPD, and Ninja Storm were all on the
Ninja Storm, Wild. It was Wild. You mentioned it in Wild Force because of Forever Red.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
Weirdly enough, I really cannot stand Wild Force or Ninja Storm.
The kite thing just really bothers me. It ruined the whole
Yeah.
thing for me. It was just really sad.
Guys, we're all talking at once.
Sorry.
No, the kite thing, yeah, it was bad. And honestly, the thing that really turned me off from Wild Force, everybody knows if the Ranger episode has a good intro, then that's what gets you into it. That's why a lot of people don't I hear so many people talking about how bad the Beast Morphers thing is. But honestly, I hated the Wild Force intro. Hated it because I grew up around it was the same thing with Ninja Storm, and Ninja Storm for the characters, the only two that I really cared for were Dustin and Cam, because they were the only two who got proper development as the Rangers. If you're wondering what that squeaking noise is, I just have putty for stress. But they were plus they had the coolest looking suits, so there was that. And for Wild Force, it was the same thing, but Merrick was the only character who actually had to go through a proper arc.
What was Zanaku?
Yeah, with Zanaku. As for the music, though,
just kind of stopped.
Yeah, well, even then, Zanaku was still a problem that Merrick had to deal with, whenever he was living with the bar owner, and as for the music, I grew up with bands like System of a Down and various rocks and metals, so I didn't really like those, which is weird because I ended up liking Mystic Forces so much because it was just so damn catchy.
I've got to disagree with you.
Ninja Storm was more punk.
Regarding Ninja Storm, I really liked it, and it's a different type of Power Rangers. If we were to put Power Rangers on a spectrum, we would have for intensity versus humor, not even versus humor, just versus lightheartedness. We'd probably have Ninja Storm on one end and RPM on the other.
RPM's definitely on the farthest end of the spectrum, but there's a difference between actually having a lighthearted season and having a season actually have any heart, any heavy emotions at all. And that was just way too lighthearted. They still managed to
I think they still managed to accomplish some really good character development with Cam.
Well, there was Cam and his mother, which was fine, but Cam and his mother, and then Shane and Dustin.
Shane's arc is
I meant to say Blake, not Dustin earlier. Dustin is great though. But Blake and his brother, whenever Lotor, why did I say Lotor? Lotor. Whenever he ended up killing their parents, and all they said was, "Yeah, get over it."
Shit
I guess
happens.
with Power Rangers.
It really does.
With Power Rangers.
I don't know.
Just ask.
Some of what I really liked about it, though, were not necessarily even the character stuff, even though that's what I usually latch onto and just run with. I loved like the ninja shadow battles.
Mm.
Like it's a really small
Yeah.
thing, but I thought it was hilarious whenever they would like try and pull that, or like the stunt where they would like all of a sudden it's just the suit.
Oof.
I always thought that was the funniest thing.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But Wild Force, I gotta admit, I did love the fact that they were the only evil rangers that actually blacked out the entire suit. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean now. Yeah.
Yeah, their versions of the Shadow Rangers, despite it having no impact on the story, it was the only ever one to actually have genuine shadows, and that was really interesting, especially with the how the orcs, how they ended up fighting the humans half the time, because every one of them fought differently because of the of how their pollution created them.
I think that pollution reasoning was so weak.
Well, that's why
It really was.
that's why despite not really having that much of a focus for my Wild Strike team, that's kind of why I named it Wild with the beginning, is because I want the orcs to come back as the main antagonists, but not have a master orc. That's going to be very different. That's why Jindrax and Toxica come back.
Nice.
Yeah, it's basically their whole thing is that they want to further corrupt the thing. No, Kite will not be coming back, but there will be.
Oh man! But he's everyone's favorite little eco terrorist.
No, but the point of it.
I always wanted to punch him in the face.
Oh my god! Is that child abuse? Or no? Because that's a. It's either child abuse. Wait, no. It's child abuse, blasphemy, or what's the third one?
What?
If Jaden,
I mean, he's technically the god of that season.
Jesus.
There's just so much things wrong with that. Oh, great! It's storming out now. Fantastic.
I heard you talking about Ninja Storm. They want to provide the proper ambient sounds.
Yeah, all I need now is to wait for the ninja to show up. Either that or I grab my weeaboo katana.
Or
You'll never see the ninja.
guitar.
If you find the ninja's not very good at ninja.
It's like that fortune cookie joke on Family Guy. A mysterious man will drop into your life. Ching! Be careful at work today. Then
like
Peter crashes on him.
Fall out of the sky or something.
There's one comment from Linkarang. He said how weird it is on Ninja Scum how it's all ancient. There's a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. That was the thing that I can. Okay, I know that it's. I know that Jungle Fury is another almost perfect season. So close. But can we all talk about how the ancient times, yet the masters are all only like in their 90s at most, at the very most, and yet the lost masters, how they're like in their late 40s and just mildly inconvenienced, yet they were there and they know each other.
To be fair,
Well, I mean, we could argue that they
it's
like
kinda-
know
they
each
don't
other on a
really like-
spiritual level because of their animal spirits, and we could argue that the spirit, like the animal masters that are in like the spirit world, stopped aging after they entered the spirit world. But then we still have the issue of like.
Okay,
Master
what about
Finn, Master Fant and Mr.
Okay, no, that's fine. I can like you were saying that was fine with the reincarnation thing with their animal spirits, and that made them live for so long. But there's a problem with that. Casey's student had the tiger spirit.
Yeah, I wasn't
As
saying
well
that
as
they were
Weiger.
reincarnated. I meant that like I was trying to address your point that that they somehow know each other, because like once they become like a master, then maybe they're able to like communicate to other masters through their animal spirits.
Well,
I've got the answer.
to be fair, I mean after Master Mao died, he wasn't really dead, so
I've got the answer for it.
Nice.
As Gosei says, there's a simple
I swear to God.
And as Rock would say, far too complex for you to understand.
That's the other thing though. I have to admit I did like about the Super Mega Force whenever they did the Jungle Fury fight. After Orion or whatever his name was showed up.
Ryan.
Dominic.
Yeah. Pretty much. He's just a
Actually,
worse
he's
Dominic.
like a discount. He's actually a worse Tyzon.
Exactly, but I really liked that that they used the Spirit Ranger keys instead of like the 3 main team, then the 3 Spirit Rangers, because back whenever they had just the 5 and they used the Jungle Fury powers, they actually used the white and purple keys.
That's quite cool.
Oh, nice.
I've kind of kept away from a lot of Mega Force.
Yeah, I just sat through the beginning half of Turbo. I'm gonna have to go through Mega Force next.
Well, to
Let's
be
be honest,
fair, you need an
Gia makes it
extremely
worth
high
it.
IQ to understand Megaforce.
To be fair, if anybody enjoys Mega Force, they probably watch Rick and Morty too.
No, but here's the thing though, Ciara Hanger makes it all worth it.
Well, it's
I
if you're saying that about her attractiveness, then
No,
not
that.
really.
well, to be fair, she does do Ranger body paint, but
She's such
Yeah,
like
she's
an
like
energy
actually-
ball though.
yeah, and she's
Like-
super passionate about the entire show, and like she's still a part of
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
why
We
she
need
does
more
the Bat in the
people
Sun
like her.
films. Yeah, she does.
Right.
Yeah,
She
that's
could
why
replace-
Bat in the Sun is like my favorite production
She could
group.
replace JDF as the face of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
She's probably going
I
to.
wish that Gia was a better character so that like we could, because if Gia just had just a little bit more character arc, like just like
Wait, wasn't she Emma?
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
She was
No,
Gia.
Christina Masterson was Emma. Ciara Hanna
wait.
was Gia Moran.
Wait, then why is Gia the white one and then Emma's the? Because they usually have the names at least make a little bit of sense, but then again, Jade and Shiva. So. Okay, that's the other thing. Why on earth did they get?
The names.
Why on earth is Mia a Watanabe and they did not bring Cam back as the samurai power?
No,
I
or they
don't
could have
know.
even they could have even just passed it off as a reference. Oh yeah, my cousin.
Her
Yeah.
brother comes to town
Right,
and he
why-
plays
why
the
do
guitar.
I-
They didn't even make it Cam.
Yeah, that's
Mother of God.
I mean, they
And Cam
could-
actually
yeah.
plays the guitar as a ranger too.
Yes.
It's like it's almost a reference, but it was like, nah, we're gonna throw you a middle finger instead.
Right? It's
Well, and it would have been hilarious if Cam made a cameo because like he was the original Green Samurai, and then there's 2 Green Samurai.
Well, he's not the original Green Samurai because don't forget, long ago
right.
in ancient times.
His mom, but
And
like
even
he's
then, what
like
they
the
should have
Power
done is-
Ranger Green Samurai.
Yeah, no, they should have had another Asian Green Ranger and maybe like had him be the Watanabe and then be cousins or something. Or
Mhm.
even
All
then,
have been
they've
so
had
easy.
they've had female rangers in male suits. They could have had a 3 female team. Which honestly, I'm surprised that they haven't actually done one where there's more females than males on the set.
I guess they're kind of limited by the Sentai bit though, because I've like one-off show, but I think people would notice when, with the suits.
Well,
Right, like I
Well,
don't think that we'll get
Time
a female
Force,
Red
it was
Ranger for a while just because like
Yeah.
they'll be limited by the Sentai.
That's true. Or
For as much as I would like to see it.
yeah, no, that was a discussion that I don't remember who I was having it with, but like, it was about how Mike and Emily actually got together in the comics, and like what that would possibly do for the bloodlines, and how 2 Ranger families have finally become one. But even then, like Emily's sister, like that made sense, but like we don't know if she's even around anymore, or if there's other kids in her family that could eventually like pass down the powers to.
Mm-hmm.
Even
There's a
then-
super chat, by the way.
Oh yeah, I see it. Thank you so much for the $5 donation into the Rangerverse. Thank you so
Nice.
much.
Oh.
Look at that, guys. We're doing so well.
I
He
I
asked,
actually.
hey, how did you like my videos?
Oh,
So,
which one?
Enter the Rangerverse is who asked that. So, I forget which one I watched. I watched 1 or 2 of them. Wait, let me pull that up again.
Wait a minute, what?
1 sec.
Oh wait, didn't Oh, I'm going to his channel right now.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I hear my neighbors talking. Oh, he's got like top 10 Pink Ranger moments, top 10 first morphs and battles.
Oh, I remember that now. I remember that now.
I've just
yeah.
seen the chat for the thingy. Someone put Ciara Hanger does.
Yo,
great
everybody
Power
in
Ranger
chat, check
body
out Into the Ranger versus videos.
Yes. Starscream, clear canvas here. I said that. Yeah, she does a lot of body paints.
We're gonna need to investigate this a bit more for you know science.
I'm gonna go get I'm gonna find the Instagram link to the guy who actually does the hang on. Sierra
I'm googling right now. Ciara Hanger body paint. I'm kind of scared to press enter.
It's
Fear
no,
not
it's
the
like,
unknown.
she's covered up, but it's her and somebody who did the Time Force Blue. It's actually like it's really cool.
Oh, really? The guy who played Lucas?
No, it's not actually Lucas, but it's
okay, never
somebody
mind.
he looks vaguely Asian, but like the body paint itself is really cool.
A
should
while
post it in the
ago at a
Discord.
panel, he was talking about doing like an like over 18 panel, and then a friend of mine was at like a con, and she mentioned that there was like a Ranger Danger panel, and it was rated for 18 and above, and she was really confused
Yeah,
because like
that was why I was talking about this earlier. I was trying to remember Z's actress from SPD. She does like adult modeling, and it's so weird because like if you see one of your childhood heroes do something like that, and it's like what,
Yup.
why?
Yeah.
I'm sure we're not as scarred though as the poor kids who like went and visited on set and then saw like the stunt doubles like
Oh no.
crouching and smoking.
Also, I'm sorry if there's any slightly younger people in the audience. I just realized.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
forgot we were on the podcast.
No.
I forgot we were
It's
in a
okay.
podcast.
They're
We're not
gonna have
just
to learn
chatting.
eventually. They gonna learn today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Essentially.
I feel like I just ruined like every little kid the thing that they love at Christmas.
PG-13, PG-13.
Which
By the
I
way,
won't
there's no
spoil by
Santa
talking
Claus.
Great, no. Okay, guys, I sent the body paint of Gia to the chat that we're for our discussion. I'm kind of concerned because none of the shots are below the waist, and I'm kind of concerned how far they went.
No, wait, no. The picture I found, let me just get it. She's wearing shorts, basically.
Ah, gotcha. I mean, to be fair, she was wearing a skirt in the suit, so. But like you guys saw see the thing that I sent. It's really cool how they actually have like the texture on the
Yeah.
on the morph. That's really cool.
It looks really nice.
No Santa lies. I'm sorry, Zangetsu Black. I'm sorry you had to find out this way.
No, that was a lie. There is a Santa Claus. If you can still believe, then you go do that.
Tasteless Abyss says, Brain, question for the panel. Everyone's favorite villain other than Astronema.
Other than
I already said
Astronema.
mine. Mine is Ivan Ooze in nostalgic reasons, but
Mesogog.
Oh.
yeah, Mesogog was just like way too intimidating. Except for, I gotta admit, him and Venjix did have a lot of similarities, and I love that. Like especially with how they planned ahead and everything. But still.
Yeah, I gotta go back to Jared.
Nice.
The Jared Daishi duality was just so perfect.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. I loved the Ranzik and Nadira relationship too. I know that that's technically two villains for both cases, but
No, it's a season
like,
villain.
yeah,
Season
it's
antagonist, yeah.
Yeah.
Ow.
Oh, Time Force. I couldn't remember which season that were for a second there. I'm like, that sounds familiar. Then I remembered Time Force.
Next you're gonna tell me there's no such thing as Power Rangers. I'm sorry, Tara.
No, the Power Rangers are real. I've seen them in person.
I've met JDF. He's the nicest mofo. Actually, speaking of that,
He's
if
so
any,
nice, why you call him a mofo?
because, because he I mean, he listens to System like me, and I gotta love that. He's one badass mother. Yeah. You know, Mother's Good. If anybody remembers that, that's a reference to the movie. Yeah. From Billy said that. But no.
Talk about a splitting headache.
Yeah. Cordell Daware. I have seen Power Rangers at Disney World too. That is where my brother and I met the Power Rangers Jungle Fury when we were little kids.
Oh my god!
Awesome.
I forgot that they were at Disneyland. I never went to Disney. You lucky.
Yet they never talk.
No, they couldn't because like if the voices were different, then like it would ruin it. It's just like why Mickey Mouse doesn't talk. Like he's like, literally everywhere, but like
I'm sadistic.
That was so good.
I'm a sadistic mouse.
Oh my lord!
I'm kind of concerned. It's been getting better and worse over the years.
Hey, little kitty.
I guess if there's one thing Disney would not want to acquire again, it's Power Rangers.
Yeah, they really didn't care about it.
Wait, could you repeat
imagine that? If they because realize this at Disneyland, that would be amazing because you know how everything's like a VR experience now. Imagine being inside the Megazord and piloting it as an experience.
Oh my gosh!
God!
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
we're all just gonna geek out now.
Watch a Disney. Watch one of the Disney officials watch this and like, okay, we need to put together $1 billion to buy it back from Hasbro.
I will donate.
Just to have them partner with Hasbro. To be honest,
ride that it's like you're riding in the thing. Like
the
they
Millennium
could do
Falcon.
the same thing with like the Astro Mega ship.
Ooh, actually,
And
good
they
thinking.
could do, yeah, and oh my gosh, and there could be like they always do like the live like at Hollywood Studios they always do like Star Wars live demonstrations where like they always pick little kids to train to be Jedis, and they could do the same thing for like the Paizois.
But that's the thing though, is that Hasbro might be actually bringing back the live studio, like the stage performances.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I heard the hope in
be
your
awesome.
voice. I heard the hope in your voice. You're like,
Really?
Yeah, I'm just it's like
I can hear.
they've
Are you
done
tearing up?
so much that's like good.
Yeah,
It sounds like you're
alright.
like,
Are you
at
gonna be
least
alright?
decent.
Oof.
I'm not tearing up.
Are you sure?
I know
No.
I sound like I am, but I'm actually not. But
Okay.
so my voice goes on like really weird levels all the time, and then it comes back down, and it's fine. And like, yeah.
Okay. Brain, I want you to. I hope that you can do me this favor because I mean we haven't even the podcast has been going on for just under an hour.
Yep.
And we
Wait,
have
really? It doesn't feel like that long.
No, it doesn't. We've actually been,
It's been 42
talking
minutes.
and we've actually gotten quite a bit discussed, surprisingly. But
We've only done one topic.
no, we've done a couple, like Ranger
have?
Villains
Jumped
and
around. That
like-
was kind of the point.
yeah, it was kind of quick. But can you? I'm sending it to the Discord. Could you pull up this photo because I want to explain how meeting him at the con was.
All right.
What?
It's the picture. Also, thank you everybody. I just opened my Instagram. Thank you. Oh wait, no, that's my friend from that's my friend and coworker who liked 40 of my pictures. I thought it was everybody from the stream. That thank you is still I'm still gonna give you guys the thank you for being so awesome. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's an idea in the chat to recreate the Disney Stars and Cars as like the thing where you're riding through a ranger battle with Bulk and Skull as your tour guides.
Oh, that would be sick.
Okay.
That was from Ryan Letigaga.
Alright,
I'm sorry for butchering your name.
Ryan, Lady Gaga?
Brain, thank you for putting up the image on the screen.
No
I
problem.
want to explain to everybody how this went. First time that he was in my my area in Pittsburgh was 2017 in April. The problem is that at the same time at the convention that I went to, which is Techo, which is coming up, it's always the same weekend as Steel City Con because for some reason, despite having like 3 or 4 a year, they never decide to change the weekend. And this year, it's an office reunion. Guess what I can't go to? The office reunion because I'm going to Techo because it's a 4-day convention with a $50 ticket. But meeting JDF, there was such a huge line because there's always insane celebrities there, like William Shatner and I think his name was William Green. He played Herschel on The Walking Dead. If anybody's a fan of that, who sadly passed away just a few years ago. But he loved coming to this convention. And the last time the JDF was here, it was December. Going through a lot at the time, and I was just so amazed to meet him because I just finished my Deku cosplay at the time, and there were so many Ranger fans like everywhere. And the problem was the line itself, it was moving kind of quickly because there were so many people there. And Jason was like the only person who wasn't like overcharging for a signature or something, because everybody else is like $50 per celebrity. And just getting to meet him, I got to show him my art, which was mostly the art celebrity. It was the combination of the green and black Ranger powers that he used in the past to kind of like counteract what happened with Lord Draken in the comics. And not to mention, I showed him my own Ranger team, and there's honestly nothing more exciting than when the face of the franchise says, "I hope that you can make this a real thing."
Wow, incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
that kind of is pushing me through this entire year so far.
That is an awesome story.
Yeah.
And his daughter was there. She's also a huge inspiration. Check out Jenna Ray Frank on YouTube. Good old promotion, get that out there. Like she was incredibly nice, and Jace, I hope you don't mind this, but she is just drop dead gorgeous.
I don't think anyone would mind being called that.
Well, no, but like, well, you know that the feeling you get when you meet someone who you've only ever seen on like online on pictures or something, like I mean, it's different for like Jason David Frank. That was a completely different kind of like energy that I had around it. But for Jenna Ray, it's like whenever you meet a model or something for the first time, or like an inspirational speaker, like someone from a TED Talk or a comedian.
Interesting.
It was crazy. And though for Techo, if anybody is in the area, I'm gonna be there. I'll see you there. And it was I was actually lucky enough to meet a YouTube comedian. I can't remember his name right now. It's ProZD.
Oh yeah, I know.
He does the Asian guy who does the sketch comedy. As well as Vic Mignogna. There was the voice actress for Toka from Tokyo Ghoul, and for Kirito, and all those other characters.
Awesome.
Sorry, I went on a bit of a rant there.
Oh, no problem. Does anybody else have any cool
That was like
con
5
stories?
minutes. Oh god, that was like over 5 minutes.
Does anyone else have any cool con stories?
I've never been to a con before.
I've been to
Legasp.
Comic-Con when I was back in Bangalore. This is like in 2014. A high school friend of mine came back. He came to town, and we decided to hang out at Comic-Con. I don't really know. I don't really remember doing a whole lot. I just felt kind of because it was like 90% of the con was filled with Naruto and DBZ.
That's
and
about right.
Nothing else.
2014. That's about right.
I just felt completely bored. The only great thing I got about it was my house. It was my house teacher.
Oof.
Everybody lies.
Mm.
And I was binge watching the reruns of House at the time, especially. So
Yeah, I gotta admit though, if it was 2014, that was what, Battle of Gods or Resurrection F that just came out at the time, so it makes sense with the Dragon Ball.
But absolutely nothing else was there, or just Naruto and DBZ. So And in the next room, there was this FIFA and Call of Duty tournament. Two more things I'm completely uninterested in. So if ever I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you really wanted to be really exciting, but you just end up feeling completely bored and just wanting to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all felt that before, I feel. Maybe.
It's like at a family reunion or a funeral.
Except that there's hundreds of people.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't see a bunch of people dressed up as Goku at a family reunion or a funeral. Be funny though.
That'd be a little weird.
I'm going to request
weird flex, but okay.
That would be really. That would actually make it amazing.
Yeah, that would. Yeah. Okay. So anybody else have a con story?
Well, I kind of do, but
from Power Morphicon.
Yeah, a little bit from that, though. I think, well, Power Morphicon just in general was just a really, really amazing experience. I mean, it certainly didn't cost a little bit to get all the way from Boston to California. But yeah. I think for sure it was worth the experience, because for years because I remember distinctly, like, it was, I think, sophomore year in college, where I asked myself, I wonder if there is a convention just for like Ranger stuff. And then I looked it up and found out, wow, there's a convention for just Ranger stuff. How about that? But it was on the other side of the country, and it's like, well, I don't have that kind of money. But
no,
other side of the globe for me.
Apparently, there's a smaller con called Ranger Stop that has like
that was
the
in
big
Orlando
names
last
stop
year,
by.
Ranger Stop. Let me look that up.
There's a few less guests. Mike Chin was actually at the last one.
Oh, that's only in Georgia? Oh, wow.
There was one in Orlando, too.
Wait, Atlanta, Orlando. Wait, Orlando, Florida. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Georgia's way closer.
Orlando's
like,
but to be fair, my best friend is in Texas, so if I went to Orlando, that'd be a same trip.
Yeah.
No. Either way, I probably couldn't afford it.
And
yeah.
And I just
gotta wait till I get through med school to do that.
Yeah.
Why can they?
Ouch.
Can they seriously not just not make? Are they not capable of making one up here in the Northeast?
Or in Britain?
Yeah, that'd
well,
be
no,
nice.
there is.
Either one.
There is.
It'll be.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Jason David Frank was just in. He was just in London a few weeks ago, and right now he's in Dublin.
Oh, I could not afford to get to London. Jesus Christ!
How far are you away?
It's not that; it's just how expensive London is compared to the rest of the country.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
So I'll go to here on Villains, but like the price just to get a photo with half of them is so expensive.
Yeah, honestly, I just want to try and reach out to Chris Cantata, see if he could well, because you know how involved he is with the Ranger community. If even he would if he could get like Rangers to come out this far east, because I'm pretty sure he's in California too. But like he's a follower of mine on Instagram. I don't know how that happened. But it's really awesome because like he's so passionate about all that, as well as like the whole fitness thing. And it's weird though, because like Jason Font and Steve Cardenas are like the two main Rangers who actually like my stuff. And it's weird.
Well, we
That's
got
really
a super
cool,
chat
though.
donation from Ferris Manus Primark. The Disney brain lives in the old Aqua base. You can't fool us. How did you know? How did you know?
I'm
actually roommates
because
with
everybody
Carter.
knows. Yeah, it's it's become your think tank. But and I'm not just saying that because it's flooded.
Oh no!
How can it flood? It's been freezing since the past week over here.
Wait, what?
We're talking about the Aqua
guys
base.
got a lot of
It's in
snow right
California.
now.
It's all in California. That's the thing. Why every single season of Rangers except for Wait a minute.
Disney.
Wait a minute. Yeah, no, because Samurai has to take place in Japan.
It does, yeah.
Yes, centuries ago in Japan, and we don't know where Corinth is. So
Yeah, that could.
I
be
mean,
Because to
Corinth
be-
isn't. It's on the
It's
eastern side of whatever country it's in because that's how it shows up on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The intro map, it shows it's in, like, I think, like South America somewhere.
No, I'm pretty sure that it might actually be New Zealand for that one.
Imagine though if that
It very
was
well
what-
could be.
Imagine if that was Angel Grove in that timeline.
Well, to be fair, that actually is that'd be pretty dark. But to be fair, California is the source of all evil.
Well, I mean, I think it kind of makes sense to be in California just because
Well, I mean,
there are
they
so
have
many things that go in California.
well, they have
and,
they
like,
actually have
they just
the pit
accept
of
it.
evil. They have the pit of evil in California. They have like so many. It's just so messed up. That's a horrible state.
And
No,
everybody
no
talks
offense to
too
anybody
much.
who lives there. Like that's why MMPR Toys he moved here to Pennsylvania, like where I'm at. But like, it's Jesus Christ, it's horrible there.
And the drivers there are insane. I thought they were bad up in Boston, but I legitimately feared for my life driving back to the airport. And forget about LAX. That place is horrible.
See, Pittsburgh has the international airport, which is amazing, and B, some of the most dangerous but safe drivers simultaneously, because you don't know a pothole until you've been in Pittsburgh.
Oh god.
You don't know what potholes are unless you've been in Bangalore.
No, you don't understand. They're everywhere. The roads suck.
Illinois has some pretty bad potholes too, but that's because they say that they fix them, and then they really don't.
You come to England, you'll know what a pothole is.
Are you all just bragging about our potholes?
Bangalore,
It's better than bragging about
there
potheads.
are certain roads in Bangalore that you cannot even classify as roads.
Sorry, we already know Florida's evil, but that's a different subject. That's a
Oh,
different
my
kind of
God.
evil.
But I just wanted
Gluten
to
is the
say-
source of all. Ew, it's fleshy. Says the gluten is the source of all evil.
Oh man.
It tastes the best. We Californians are nothing compared to the Floridians. Why is it? No, Florida's a mistake. California is the abomination, and New Jersey is the
having
joke.
lived in Florida for 18 years of my life, can confirm Florida was a mistake.
Hey, I go on holiday there quite a bit. I enjoy
But that doesn't mean that it's a nice
Orlando
place.
is fine. Orlando is fine. The rest of Florida.
Oh yeah, Orlando's the only safe spot.
There's only one thing I've never understood: how you can go to Walmart, you can go buy your vegetables, you can go get an M16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to America, bitch.
This is America.
Can you just
This is America.
Actually, recently
Got
in
my
my area,
apples.
there was-
Got my
That was
pears.
overlapped.
What?
One person at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, talk.
Or
Ew.
0% at a time.
I don't know. You guys were both talking at the same time, and it was all right. Just if anybody has actually shot a gun,
I have.
you have. Okay, so then you know how like and remember this can't get flagged because we're only discussing it and we're not discussing any violent actions.
I don't
If
know.
you've ever-
YouTube is on something these days.
Maybe we should like subject
let-
change
let-
back to Power Rangers.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, we can't
exactly.
actually say the word.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's right because they can't. They can't say the D word or no. They have to say destroyed. And they can't. That's the other thing. The closest. Did anybody else notice that was right? Like I noticed when they started to censor out any weapons because like Lost Galaxy, the guy had a revolver when he hijacked the bus, and then Time Force they had the cartoonic guns for the Silver Guardians.
Oh yeah, you mean Lightspeed Rescue?
Oh,
That
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, you know.
I
what
don't
mean.
remember a time where it wasn't censored out. Am I like
No,
Yeah.
no.
just
Wild-
completely
'Cause,
missing
yeah,
no.
something?
in that episode,
Lightspeed
of
Rescue.
Lightspeed
Whenever he
Rescue,
hijacked the bus, he had like a
yeah,
proper.
it was a
Winchester.
legit gun. I was actually kind of
Not
surprised when I
Winchester.
went back to watch it because I
Yeah,
would have assumed
exactly.
it got censored out, but it didn't. It looked like a real
No,
gun.
no, it's even like it's still on Netflix too.
Huh.
What model was that? It didn't not a Colt, not a Winchester. Actually, I think it might have been an old Colt. I don't know.
For any YouTube officials watching, this is for educational purposes only. I'd just like to
Yes.
emphasize that.
We're discussing the censorship of various medias. But yeah, that's what I'm saying though, is that like you see it in either a video game or even in like the Rangers thing. You always see like the dramatic kickback. You don't understand how hard a gun kicks until you've actually used one, and they're so loud.
Shotguns in Britain, we can only really shoot shotguns.
Yeah, because various laws. I don't understand why shotguns are the thing. That seems like the most damaging.
But like,
I mean, I guess it's the least precise weapon, so I guess it makes sense.
Oh no, it is. It's pretty precise in real life. Like,
well, no, I'm not saying that, but I mean like, because the only aren't you only like allowed to use, not even buckshot, like you actually have to use spread ammo.
Yeah, but like clay pigeon shooting, like but like the kickback's not as bad as you expect to.
No, I'm talking about like like an actual rifle, like an M16 or something, and it's, remember, if you ever do it, safety. Glasses and headphones. I did not have the headphones, and guess where my brother fired one? Right next, with the barrel right next to my ear.
Oh, where I work at Steelworks, I was in the lunch cabin, just minding my own business, and someone comes in. I didn't think of it. Next thing, ringing ears. He's got a bloody gun.
Oof.
Thinking, all right, I'm not gonna piss you off.
Yeah, no, America is amazing. It's great because though, like, I mean, it's great, but it's also horrible because of the specific regulations. They're not the ones that we should have, and like the ones that we should have, we don't. That's a different issue. The thing though is that like, whenever you're looking into that sort of thing, like how diverse they are, because like some of them do actually look like just toy cap guns, and the rest of them look like, okay, I don't even want to hold that thing. I feel like I'd hurt myself.
I mean, we could almost kind of apply that to like the Power Rangers fake gun blasters kind of thing too, because like we have like on one side, like even if we just look at SPD, we have like Jack's hand blaster thingies that I don't remember the names of, and then like we also have like the giant things from SWAT mode, and you're just like, I don't think I'd even want to hold that thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like then there's like the really cartoony. There's the what was that? Oh, they were like the race blasters or whatever they were called from Turbo, and they just look like they actually look like cars. And then we're not even going to talk about Ninja Steel's frog shooters.
Oh gosh. It was only a matter of time before Ninja Steel entered the stream.
I will never watch Ninja Steel apart from that.
You're not missing anything.
I only watched the anniversary episode, and it pissed me off how Trent had no words whatsoever. I think he had one line actually.
Yeah.
Wait, when?
This was in danger.
Oh.
Like Daniel. Trent Mercer.
To be fair, like they had so much missed opportunity there, but I think that they were only doing that to emphasize that like there was the Sudarso brothers that actually had some sort of connection whenever they did the Christmas episode.
Yep, there was that.
Because to be fair, the Christmas episode did redeem a good chunk of the season, in my opinion, like just from that episode alone. But even then, it wasn't really that great. The anniversary, I loved the I for some reason the lighting was just so different.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch all of I watched maybe one video, one episode of the original Ninja Steel, and then I watched maybe another 2 of Super Ninja Steel, and I watched the anniversary episodes. But like there just wasn't there wasn't enough there in the non-anniversary episodes for me to like get into it, where because like I'm also like, if I'm going to watch Power Rangers, like at the time I hadn't finished SPD yet, so if I was going to pick between watching Ninja Steel or watching SPD, I was gonna watch SPD.
Smart choice.
So
Yeah. Although to be fair, there was the whole SPD. I mentioned this a couple times. Like, I don't like how SPD, they chose so close of a future to make it set in.
Yeah, it's gonna cause
yeah.
If it's only it's almost 2025. I mean, to be fair, it's good thing that the Deca Ranger in 2018 they had another movie, Deca Ranger versus Space Force, I think it was, and they actually had like the SP, like Red Ranger has the SPD SWAT mode as his thing, which I loved. I didn't actually watch the movie yet, but I just saw that that was like part of the main promotion for it. The thing though is that if they do a Soul of the Dragon series, they're gonna have to set it even farther into the future, and even then, how are they gonna integrate the season that comes out in 2025 with SPD?
Yeah, that's a good question, because in all likelihood, the season that Power Rangers would adapt, assuming it lasts as long as that, probably doesn't even exist yet as a Sentai. Unless they take a long time to adapt Ryu Soldier.
Yeah, there's well, to be fair, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did Ryu Soldier in just a couple of years. Like probably in about 2, whenever they're finished with it.
Though I prefer they adapt Lupat, because it's such a different kind of story and setup. And
it would make.
Blood.
Honestly, I'm expecting if Hasbro's smart enough, what they're gonna do is they are gonna do like Peta Ranger, maybe Tokyuger, and even what's the name? Q Ranger. Whenever they do Q Ranger, though, is that they have enough credibility and enough sense to make like the teams of the past matter and then form together to stop this necessary evil.
Yeah,
as long as they make
I feel like
as they
that
make
would
an
be
American.
something really cool if they brought back former Rangers to be a like super Ranger team.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's the only way that they could handle having that many Rangers if they were to do it in a short period of time.
Yeah,
because otherwise we just wouldn't get a feel for the characters.
Yeah, the only thing though is that the only way that they can pull that off remotely is if they have an American exclusive villain. I'm not talking about like Rancic or Astronema or something like that. What they need to do is actually like Hasbro already did so much American footage for just Beast Morphers. What they need to do is actually the Zords, they can work with that, but they need to do more American fight scenes. Well, and I say American even though they're doing everything in New Zealand.
That gets expensive though for the production, so I think they might wait to do that until they start getting more like income from the fans.
Well, that's the other thing though, is that why in the love of God have they not just recruited fans to make a series? Like, okay, there's really only 5 well-known fan stories out there. Or at least like fan-made teams. There's Chronic Storm, that's yours. Hey. There's the jamming. There's Deca Mexicans Jammingers. There's the Unworthy Productions. There's the First Ninja, and there's and Wild Strike. That's got a couple hundred people looking at it, and like including past Rangers. I mentioned whenever I told my con story is that like I showed JDF and he said that he'd love to see that, and Chris Cantata, he's helped out on a lot of those Fan Ranger projects, and I could that's why I made a villain for him to be, like, because he'd pull it off so well.
That's awesome.
Well, you know, there's
Yeah,
like
that-
also they could even go to like just video recordings that they find on YouTube from panels where fans have asked the actors questions about like what they wish they could have done. Because there have actually been like some like since I haven't been able to go to a con, I try to watch the panels online, right? And so
Mhm.
there have actually been some really, really nice ideas from the actors that they wish they could have done, but
Right.
like weren't incorporated for whatever reason. And you could incorporate that into some other scene. Or like one time, he plays Adam.
I know what you mean.
Johnny Young
Yeah,
Bosch.
Johnny Young Bosch. Yeah.
Yeah, one time he was asked like what he really thinks that Adam is doing at this time, and Adam said that Johnny Young Bosch said that rather than like running a JoJo, like he prefers to
Dojo.
think
Dojo.
that he prefers to think that like Adam is actually like a secret agent and going around and doing stuff, and that would actually be really cool. And
I
like
could see that. Yeah.
It was like,
I mean,
right, and
to be
so
fair,
they
he
could tie that into
he
like
still has the
something.
Mastodon powers. Like they were restored. Why? We're not gonna get into the Overdrive plot holes right now.
let's not talk about plot holes in general.
But
We could fill a whole podcast. with
because
that.
Oh, dear.
there's so many things that I want to know about, like why certain Rangers have their powers and don't. But
Why don't everyone in that crossover have powers? They all shouldn't have powers. Paw Bridge.
well, okay, so no. They all Meta Knight or not Meta Knight.
Sentinel Knight.
Sentinel Knight. Thank you.
Would have been a better season with
Meta-
Meta Knight.
Whenever Sentinel Knight,
For me.
he no, I was everybody talks about Smash memes, and the only one that I actually enjoyed was Brawl, and I always played Kirby. But whenever Sentinel Knight, whenever he showed up in the like he restored the powers, the Dino Gem that was recharged twice. Which is why that's the reason why I hate SPD to some degrees, because they ruined some portion of Dino Thunder with both the horrible crossovers.
I liked me personally.
But they made no sense.
I don't mind.
Because
Power Rangers has never been about making sense.
no, but like that it was almost deliberately made to just be annoying. It was made specifically to annoy me. Because because the first crossover, it was whenever they were already done with high school, and they said that, and yet they still for some reason explained that they erased their memories despite having not actually gone through that experience yet, that sort of thing. Not to mention like back to what I was saying though. Okay, yeah. The Dino Gem can be recharged and has been in the first SPD crossover. The power disc from the Ninja Storm, that was just that was restored in Dino Thunder whenever she was given a new one.
Actually, only lasted.
The power coin, that was probably Sentinel Knight, because they were pretty much left as dust. And as for the magic, whenever Xander got his, I mean the magic really never went away, and that's what angered me so much about that episode, is because we're not going to talk about how the Mystic Mother is Rita Repulsa and her son is the main enemy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it would have been better if they actually had, instead of the Sentinel Knight restoring powers, if they actually had the Mystic Mother show up, since this was like right after Mystic Mother.
Yeah, like please fix the mistake that I cannot undo. Yeah, something like that.
Or like, please help me get my son back, or something like that.
Yeah,
turn the tide completely. Have a better mother-son like relationship than we've had ever.
Yeah, because even after Zordon's sacrifice, it was like it was made
a good mother-son relationship in Power Rangers, honestly.
Well, that's what we're hoping
for. Had a real
one. But anyway, the whenever Power Rangers whenever Zordon had to sacrifice himself, like Lord Zed, whenever we all know that he lost his skin and everything from the power of the Zeo crystal and his corrupt heart, and like that's why he put on the helmet and the staff and everything. The staff, I honestly think that I'm fine with it having disappeared with the suit, and like that's why he got it back after the dumpster thing. But they said that, I mean, there were so many things, like the Corona Aurora was hidden thousands of years ago, despite like the million years ago, how whenever the Pangea massive supercontinent was still a thing, that's how they found the location of the 5 gems, or the 5th gem, because that's how close they all were.
Also, they had the entire universe to send them. They put on one fucking planet.
Yeah.
And that creates another plot hole, because how does so many intergalactic people know about them if they're only an Earth-based thing?
Mm-hmm. Especially with, I mean, to be fair, there was the planet.
That's not a plot hole. That's just bad writing.
Well, to be fair,
We have a
there
super
was...
chat.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I
we
mean,
got a super chat.
that's the
Another
other thing
$2
is that...
donation from Ferris Manus,
Migraine.
Primarch of the Iron Hands. Thank you so much. Rita's migraine stopped her, yes, because she's always got those headaches.
Remember what she said too? What was that in the?
Thank you, my man.
She said
Thank
it
you
in
so
the
much for the
Turbo
donation.
movie to what's her name?
Diva Talks?
Diva Talks.
Yeah, she was like, if there's anything that, if the Power Rangers are involved, I got one thing for you, sister. Run! that was probably my favorite.
How do you beat
Rita
the Power Rangers?
and that was probably the best thing about it, is because that she was still in the RV with Lord Zed.
I love the line where she's like, "I'm surrounded by idiots."
Mm-hmm. Or honestly, I think that's the thing though, is that Turbo, I've come to enjoy it a lot more after the main team left. I already said that. Not to mention, because for some reason they, with the main team, whenever they're not even the main team anymore, that's when they improve the morphin sequences. Like with Lost Galaxy, Wild Force, Lightspeed Rescue didn't change. I'm fine with that. But like, you remember the Lightspeed Rescue crossover whenever whenever they Lightspeed Rescue, whenever they crossed over with Lost Galaxy, how much they improved the morph sequence.
That bugged me.
Because I hated the morph sequence from Lost Galaxy.
What bugged me from Lost Galaxy is Lost Galaxy had the morph sequence. They changed it in Lightspeed Rescue, yet they went back to it on Forever Red.
Yeah, that bothered me.
Choose one, for God's sake.
But I mean, that entire Lightspeed Rescue Lost Galaxy crossover, it felt like a bad dream. It really did.
It was.
Like,
it all was.
oh my god!
Remember, everybody, the universe is infinite, and everything is meaningless as a result.
Yeah.
Like, holy hell! How did they give a little kid more screen time than any of the returning Rangers?
Kite. Kite.
It's like remembering, like revisiting an old nightmare. That
Oh.
I blocked that out.
Wait a minute. Whoa. That was they gave, like, with the returning Rangers for Super Mega Force with the legendary battle. I'll admit, I loved that they did like the Lightspeed Rescue, and everybody, they were saving people, which was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was the best part of it.
Yes, I
But-
loved that.
But
And then they
that's-
had TJ and Cassie go and save people from an elevator.
But
Yep.
okay,
that was-
Am I mixing it up?
somebody made a video about like how absolutely horribly mismatched all the Rangers were in, like all the suits were in the actual battle, because all of Tommy's suits were there, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
Zeo
they're-
1 and
even-
and
Well,
Dino Thunder.
there were also like a whole bunch of Sentai suits that didn't
There's
have
a simple
Rangers that were
explanation.
there.
No, because they reshot the actual the quote unquote legendary battle. They had to reshoot that because they didn't have the Sentai exclusive suits for that one. But for like the while Tommy led the charge in the front, the White Ranger is still somewhere in the back. So is Dino Thunder. So is Zeo Ranger 1, which And honestly, I think that
Be a Ranger
like I
5.
mean, I get
Yeah.
the Turbo Rangers could have all been replaced by the robot versions of themselves, which they should have done, but no, they decided to oh wait, no, they kept that because TJ had his in space powers. I forgot about that.
Nice.
Well,
But
and in
why did
theory,
Cat have
what
her
they
turbo
could have
powers
done
then?
if they had had Tommy be anyone but the Green Ranger, they could have argued that he was able to somehow recruit like his clone or whatever
Yeah,
No,
and bring it back.
no, because I mean, well, okay, SPD has the temporal hole. Tommy did have another clone of himself at one point, I think.
Yeah, he did.
And there was also, I mean, I'm not talking about okay, so we can say the temporal distortion was for Dino Thunder coming back. For Zeo, that could be, I mean, no, for the White Tiger that can be the clone, but for Zeo, I honestly hope that was Justin, if he grew up, if he took over the Red Ranger powers.
But then who would be
Turbo?
just the blue?
Because the entire Turbo team had robot duplicates, remember?
Oh.
Yeah, the entire Zeo team.
But
I mean, they all, wasn't that the entire point of the episode? I'm not on it yet in the season, but I remember, like, wasn't the entire point of it that they all thought that they were the real ones, but it turns out they were the robots? Something like that.
What?
I do not remember that.
I've scared away from Turbo.
Yeah, then again, I've seen selective bits of Turbo, so.
Wait, Retro Riot says who else thinks Drive should be adapted? What's Drive?
That's a Kamen Rider thing, but I don't know nothing about Kamen Rider.
Let me look it up. Kamen Rider Drive. Oh, okay, that's a really cool. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. The only real cool looking Kamen Rider thing that I saw anything about though was it was the one where he had like the soda cans that he put into his belt. But the Drive, that honestly would be that'd be an amazing. They should have had that as the as the Red Ranger battleizer for RPM.
That'd be a nice villain suit.
No, that'd be a good battleizer. No, wait, even then, like I scroll down like with the sleeve like that. There's one that has like the left black sleeve and Kamen Rider Drive Trideron figures. What? What's Trideron? I don't know, but honestly, that fits the RPM theme more than anything.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Are any of you hoping for an RPM crossover with the Beast Morphers or not?
Everybody wants it.
Every single viewer.
Honestly, it would work though.
I'm honestly not sure if I want it or not.
No, because remember Hasbro, they've already shown they're way better at writing than
That's
before.
true.
But like,
I'm just scared to get my hopes up.
Here's what I mean, because I think they know better than mixing Ninja Storm, because that was just boring and just bad. Like,
you mean Ninja Steel?
You know what I meant. Well, both of them.
No, I don't think that Ninja Storm was boring. So I will.
I did. I thought it was way too boring. I slogged through it. I actually had to force myself to sit through it.
Why do you care about continuity in Power Rangers? All you guys talking about continuity?
Well, because we're talking about the continuity of the most current and the most beloved seasons.
Even
but
in, like Star Trek, I've noticed.
I mean, if we're going to talk about crap continuity, let's talk about Dino Charge.
So it begins. Yes, let's talk about Dino Charge. That's a great transition, actually.
Well, that's the thing though, is that they made it clear that whenever the Earth, like whenever they went back to their timeline, they didn't have to replace another set of themselves on the new Earth. So the one they just changed a previous set of events, which meant the dinosaurs never went extinct. So that Earth was already but that's the thing, is that the Earth was already on another dimension. Because nobody knew what a Power Ranger was. They made that clear from like the first episode. Like whenever the Prince of Xandar came into the play, he's like, the Power Rangers, like they've made themselves known at that point from fighting off aliens.
I love Dino Charge until that last episode.
Honestly, I was fine with the finale. I just really didn't like. Honestly, the biggest killer for it was the inconsistency with Riley's character. And if any of you know what I mean, it's like how he was a complete jerk to Coda half the time, but also like one of the most sincere and like level-headed ones. Made no sense.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like the baseball one, for example.
Exactly.
Let me tell you about the time that Coda played baseball.
Oh.
Which is an episode I don't even mind that much.
It was just the bat. The bat was overpowered. And then
we had such an opportunity to see, like, they could have done something with it, like, as in using it as an example, like, I guess they kind of obscurely use it as an example of, like,
your mic is dead.
No.
Your mic just died. Your mic was. It sounded like you were talking through harp strings. Okay, yeah, no, you're gone.
I haven't talked, but here.
Oh, that was better.
Oh, I'm back. Okay. I haven't done anything, so I don't know why I'm back. But.
Oh wait. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but AAA 1E2R3 says like that time the Rangers broke time. Like even then it was made clear that like actual time travel, like from Time Force, it doesn't create that alternate reality. It all it does is it changes the course of events, and it changes both who you are and the world around you, even if you only retain that memory.
Right. But at the same time, they also, like, I really appreciated how, like, they had the time holes, like the holes opening up in the sky to show that, like, time would, like, the universe would, like, fall apart almost if time was changed too much.
Coincidentally, I open up a new tab on YouTube and it says why Kamen Rider is worth your time.
Why do all the Red Rangers always have daddy issues?
Not all of them.
Just put that in the chat.
Quite a few of them.
Most of them. Yeah, that's the other thing though, is that that's kind of why I enjoyed Zeo, or no I didn't, not Zeo. I enjoyed the Power Rangers movie a lot more, is because than the later seasons of Mighty Morphin Rangers, is because one, Ninjor I did not care for. I thought his voice and like his powers were cool, but his voice was just way too annoying, and I preferred them going to another planet and actually.
That makes me so angry. Oh, evil.
No. Wait, let me try my Ninja voice. Hello there. I'm going to grant you the powers of Ninja.
Oh, it's too good.
Is that about right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's...
And you guys wonder why I want to be a voice actor. Ninja? Is that you? No, I just, like, it didn't, I mean, aside from also loving Ivan Ooze, Ninja does have the Marvin the Martian voice, but, just slightly more effeminate somehow. But I just thought it was, like, a lot more meaningful for the Rangers to actually go out there and save Zordon's life, rather than just, oh, we need new Zords. We need new powers.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense. Like, they were out of powers, and it was a good way to introduce those weird flying bat things. I don't know. I really preferred the movie.
It was certainly better than that transition from Zeo powers to giant cars.
Yeah. Okay. I will admit, though, weapons and Zords were both terrifying and horrendously implemented. Because, they should have. That was when they should have just used the. I mean, I get those all-American footage, but there are model builders, and you made entire vinyl suits, for God's sake. You can make a robot suit.
I mean,
that's CG.
I actually like the Turbo Megazord.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about the Thunder Zords from the Mighty Morphin movie.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I want to ask a little question. What did you think about the latest Power Ranger movie?
I loved it, honestly.
Yeah, I really
Thank
like it
God
too.
I was
I liked
disappointed, but
I
I had my
I'm
I had just watched
I'm kind of
RPM,
on
so
the
my
fence.
standards
I
are too
was
high.
kind of,
I was speaking of The
I was kind
Office.
of on the fence on that, but it felt like they assume they took it as though people only saw only Mighty Morphin and nothing else.
Oh,
So people who have seen other seasons are kind of like,
well, I mean that's kind of the point though, is that like it's only just Mighty Morphin again.
What I liked about it is it made them characters first,
Exactly.
not Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that's why they held the Ranger fight until the very end, and even then, like they didn't have their face masks on until they were actually interacting with people.
And plus,
I did like that, but I think
I just think
there wasn't enough of just like pure character that was without, like, we didn't get the opportunity to see them just be themselves outside of like being angsty and all depressed for whatever reason.
Well, that was the entire point of the training sessions and and each of their interactions. Like Zach, he's the crazy wild one. I mean, the dance thing, that's probably going to be implemented. Kimberly, she's a standoff, but she's got the heart of gold. Billy, he's the super tech nerd while still putting others before himself.
Yeah, but if we hadn't seen the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, would we have gotten that from the movie, from the 2017 movie?
Well, I mean, that's
I
kind
don't
of
necessarily know if we would have.
Well, I mean, no, it wouldn't have existed without the original. That's for sure.
I know, but like,
yes,
like
Charles,
for a
we get
fan
it. Krispy Kreme.
that it exists, that knows that it exists but hasn't watched it. Like, you know, for like a kid who might have gone and seen it, who hasn't seen Mighty Morphin.
Well, that's the entire point of. Well, yeah, no, like it introduces them as their own characters in a different sense. That's
right.
There goes a disc.
I really like that.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing. Speaking of the Office reunion, Roy, who was Jason's dad, which I thought was really weird to find out. Not to mention that the guy himself played long-haired jerk on Stranger Things. It's so weird seeing how many actors are going. Like, Rangers is a good way to start a career, and that's amazing.
I mean, the person who played Kimberly, Naomi Scott, she's in Aladdin now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like even like Eka Darville and Rose McIver, they're the two most well known right now for like iZombie and Jessica Jones.
The girl who played Tanaya.
Yeah,
Adelaide Kane.
Yeah.
Oh, how adorable is it that that Ziggy and Dr. K's actors are actually married?
They got divorced.
They got divorced.
Oh, what? No.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
When did that happen?
A few years ago, I think. I'm not sure when.
You know, we were just talking about actors who have come off Power Rangers.
Yep.
Have you seen what's it called, Cloak and Dagger?
I have not yet. No.
Yeah, Emma Lahana.
Olivia Tennant.
The person who plays Kira Ford in Power Rangers is also a main character in Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Emma Lahana songs. I really, really like them. It kind of has that faux Avril style of.
Yeah. Oh, they got divorced in 2016.
Yep.
Oof. Can we really quickly though talk about how how Tucker and Dale versus the Forces of Evil, how that's like that was done by Sasha Craig and even has the other Ranger actors as like part of the production.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was awesome. I mean, it was all around a fun movie, but like just seeing them being there, it was just something else. Oh, speaking of that, Tekko, first time, whenever I didn't know that Jason David Frank was, when I didn't know that he was at the 2017 one, just the one from last year, 2018, I met a really amazing Ziggy cosplayer. He did, it was actually the green suit rather than actual Ziggy Grover.
Nice.
Wait, Reggie Roll and Amy Miller are currently married?
Yeah, they are.
I did not know that. That's Miss Fairweather and Joel.
No, it's
Wait,
Damon
Oh,
and Trakina.
that's so cute.
No, it's
my
not. It's
God.
Damon and Trakina from Lost Galaxy.
What?
Reggie Roll played Damon Henderson on Lost Galaxy, and Amy Miller played Trakina. They're
Oh,
married,
I thought it was Miss Fairweather. I forgot her actress.
Oh, she's Monica Lorenz.
Oh yeah.
I'm really a geek when it comes to like Ranger actor names, except for a handful that I get confused
Wait,
sometimes.
Melody Perkins is German?
Well, that
Huh.
I didn't know.
I did not know that. No.
Huh.
To be fair, I can kind of see it, but it's weird because she look. The Google image, the first one looks exactly like my friend Kara. With a C, by the way, not a T. We're not talking about the the one from our server. Though I hope that she calls me a friend though.
Germany, yeah. Melody Perkins, apparently born in Germany.
Though, just in terms of like the Power Rangers movie, the most recent one, I think that spoiler alert for I guess anyone in the chat who hasn't seen it. Though I guess the statute of limitations are well.
2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
I just don't think that the Billy death scene had enough of a kick to it to matter enough as like this narrative pushing point. And it's not just because
I think the really that should have happened like.
Well, honestly I think it made more logical sense than emotional sense because A, Zordon was showing why he was worthy of being a Power Ranger in the first place because he put others before himself.
Yep.
And B is that like. Remember, Billy, the fact that he was there is just because Jason needed a car, and he shouldn't have been there in the first. Whenever he found the power coins, and what was it? You cannot morph until you put the needs of others before your own, and that's why he separated the fighting between the Rangers, that sort of thing.
I mean, from a different logical standpoint, though, it also doesn't make any sense to do the Billy death scene because, like, since it takes place before the Megazord battle, and obviously the Megazord is going to be in the previews for the movie, like, we know that he's going to come back, so the death scene doesn't feel real. Like, you're just staring there at the screen like, well, how are they going to fix this now? It's not really like, oh, no, he died. It's like, oh, well, how are they going to fix it?
That's why so many people hate prequel movies.
Imagine if,
there was this guy. There was also a Psycho Red and a Mighty Morphin Red. I'm sending the images if I can find all of them.
Damn, that's a good cosplay.
I know, right? Where's Psycho? And...
Be saying Millennial.
Oh, nice.
I can't find the images, but I think they're both on my Instagram though.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, it's weird to scroll past this because I find the original art, like the original drafts for my team that I made, and they look nothing like. Well, I mean, you can see where they were originally coming from, but like they look almost nothing like they do now. Like I'll save that discussion for after the podcast though.
Yeah, I just think what would have worked a lot better narratively is to have more scenes of Billy connecting to everyone else, because obviously when he goes down, like, I'd completely buy it when Jason's like, wow, we've really got to be better than this, or any one of us could be next. But when like Zach says it, it's like, you no, I don't believe you at all.
I mean, it was only because like, to be fair, Billy was the only one who actually tried.
No, and also you've got to remember there would being a ton of stuff off screen that we never saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, they just didn't focus on the right spots.
If they had a longer run time, I think they could have sold it for everyone.
Yeah, I just really don't know how to feel. I think what kills me about the suits.
I would have preferred it to happen in another movie altogether, so that we actually know that Billy is really valuable and that his loss is really, really felt.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the only thing that I really can't stand is like how different the suits were, because they advertised them with the white diamond, which I loved, the only thing though is that like they're just way too much of that primary color. It makes sense.
The new suits, I loved them.
No. I'm not saying that I don't love them, because I definitely do, but like there's just way too much happening.
I don't know. I think that's how, if Power Rangers were real, that's how the suits would really look.
I like the suits.
I like the suits. I don't like the Zords.
No, if the Power Rangers were real, they'd hang on. I'm sending another thing to the Discord. What they should really look like.
I think that the suits, like whether it was intentional or not, I think that they actually made a really nice reference to the Dr. K line.
They're not spandex.
That it's not spandex, and she says that it's a cybernetic nanofiber that builds itself over the body.
Self-assembling nanofiber that enhances the wearer's abilities. But no, like I just sent a message to the thing. Brain, I know that I've talked to you about this whenever we were in the call. I don't know if anybody else is even knows what this is. About the suits that look more like fleshy, leathery, rather than either the vinyl suits, and B, the Beast Morpher suits combined. They actually look like they'd be skin tight, self-assembling nanofiber.
I don't think that looks right. I think the helmet, I don't know.
No, the helmets I hate. I don't really like the helmets. They should change.
I don't really like the white diamond because it
looks too.
It's not the right size.
No, that's the thing though. Is I'm saying they should look more like that and less like, because like you see in the images they look fine. They actually look slim and it makes sense. But whenever you actually watch the movie, then they just look so bulky and hard to move in.
No, I like the movie version better than the version with the picture that you sent, actually. That's what I meant, is that the diamond isn't the right size.
I know what you're saying. That was what I was talking about.
I'm so confused.
I am as well.
I'll admit the Green Ranger looks good. I'll admit that.
Yes, the Green Ranger looks really good. I would love to see a suit similar to that.
No, I can't. It's not in this image, but the best looking one is the white tiger suit. Because whenever they made that one, it just looked so like they kept most of the aesthetic from the original design, and it looks like instead of the mouthpiece being like the lips as they did before, I mean like. It's hard to explain. I'm gonna try and find the image.
I think the only thing that annoys me about the movie is Krispy Kreme.
Gotta save the Krispy Kreme, guys.
I love Krispy Kreme, but at the same time, it was so overdone.
How much did Krispy Kreme pay for that product placement?
You gotta wonder. There was something else though too, that was like, oh, that's a sponsor.
Okay, I found an unrendered image, and I think this actually does it better justice, because like the actual color, it definitely works, but like you can see how much detail it actually should go into the suits, and actually still look like it even retains that. And even the belt buckle has a picture of it has a picture of Saba. That's what I'm talking about.
I like that, but it's more silver than white.
That's because the image isn't rendered. That's just the model.
Oh.
3D animation sucks. Trust me, I'd know.
I mean, the only animation I know how to do is Microsoft Paint. So that's not animation.
I make a mean stick figure though.
Yeah.
The only thing I can make is add words to logos.
I actually am working on an animation, but I have to draw it frame by frame, and it sucks.
Yeah,
it's gonna be worth it, but it's gonna suck.
Yuck.
I've only done about 6 or 12 seconds worth of animation, and I want you to understand this. It's at least 15 frames per second.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh
my gosh! Did you guys note that Kelson Henderson was back?
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
So many
Oh my
people
gosh,
shared it.
I'm so happy.
Even I shared it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
It was like I shared it, then somebody else shared it, then Brain shared it, and like, well, you shared it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, though,
He's a Guru Larry of the Power Rangers franchise.
Honestly, he could be the face of Power Rangers.
He's being on all that.
he deserves to be.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm glad
most
he
of the time
finally
he's
got
just
some.
voicing, and he's not literally his face, though.
I'm just glad that he finally got to actually morph for once.
He's kind of like the Ray Park of Power Rangers from that sense.
Oh, you know what I hate most about Megaforce, Super
What?
Megaforce? I mean,
What?
Yeah.
that they didn't do the gag about giving him the wrong kanji face. In the Sentai, he was accidentally given Zeo Gold's power key instead of Antonio's, and it was.
It makes more sense to do it with him because that character was a fan.
Yeah, I mean,
super
like,
fan of Sentai.
yeah, no, the first thing that was ever done was here. You actually have the Quantosaurus Rex, and it's not even the same thing. Even though they decided to use the exact same shot from back in 2001 of the future.
Oh, so he's
It bothers
voiced
me.
the-
It bothers me a lot. And why is that one still green?
Oh, so Kelsing Anderson is playing voicing the weird robot thing.
Mm.
Yep. The red bee spot.
Yeah, I've only just found out from Google.
Mm-hmm. We got off track a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
So-
I did
Yeah.
want to get
What's
to...
one of our
Does
talking
anyone know what
points?
the track is?
I know what the track is. I remember all the topics we discussed. I did want to get to the one that Amanda brought up a few days ago about what it takes to be a good Ranger character and all the nuances involved in such things. So I guess we could all talk about how our favorite characters resonate with us and what they mean and how they became that way.
I know your answer.
Everybody knows my answer.
Kendricks.
Maybe.
No, I'll go say just be Carter Grayson.
He's up there, yes.
Yeah. I think that being a great ranger can just be so many different things, from being realistic or from being realistic to being like just developed. It's very different for everybody.
It depends in what context you mean to be a good ranger. Do you mean like
That's
like you
part
say-
of what I wanted to ask, is because I kind of wanted to ask it in the context of like, does a good ranger and a good ranger and a likable ranger the same thing, and do they have to be the same thing? So my favorite ranger character is probably Bridge, but he's like, if I were to argue who like the best Power Ranger is,
no, 'cause
it's
he's
probably
not-
not Bridge.
Yeah, no, he's not developed as a ranger. He's developed as a character.
Right. And so I was wondering if you thought that they, like, if you had to be likable to be a good ranger, or if you had to be a good ranger to be likable, or
Well-
to some degree, not necessarily to like the best degree, but like to a degree.
I think that was kind of the point of some extent of Time Force, is that despite either being horrible rangers or horrible people, you could still be that sort of thing. Because Lucas, like, he has nothing about him aside from the fact that he's cool.
Quote unquote.
Wait, what?
Quote unquote cool.
Quote unquote cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like even then, like Trip, being a Zybrian, I think that was what he was called. Yeah, he was able to read. He only does it as an act in order because on the inside he's really just genuine, something like that. He says, "I am not," and and it never went anywhere with that, despite and the kid who got. The kid that he was chauffeuring around for the day, that was kind of like a reused plot point from Power Rangers in Space whenever Carlos's identity was revealed.
Yeah, with Sylvie.
Which, yeah, and honestly, and that kind, like, it worked in a sense for making him a little bit more of a likable character, but in the sense like you hate him but you like him. Like, you know, he's like the guy he's not really a good person, but it's hard to hate him.
I think
Yeah.
Skying SPD at the start, let's be honest, he was a dick.
Oh, he was
the biggest.
But at the start, he was a really good ranger, probably the best out of the original 3 before Jack and Z coming. He had the training for a ranger, but he didn't have like the mindset to be a ranger, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of why he was so hell bent on like proving his father that he was just as worthy, proving that he was worthy of his father's name.
I feel like Sky's probably the best example at the start, at least, because he does develop into him.
Yeah, because I mean, like he's an enjoyable ranger, but just a horrible character. And then there's Samurai, where like Emily's an enjoyable character, but she really doesn't contribute much of anything to the ranger team until Super Samurai, and even then that was just because she ended up with the power with the black box for an episode. And I'm still insanely angry that Antonio didn't even get to use the shark disc.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Not once did he didn't get a super suit once.
And I'm still peeved that in Ninja Steel, Sarah never got to wear the Lion Fire armor, and she fucking earned it.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's
really.
Yeah, she was the only one who earned it, and that's why I hated Samurai so much, is because not only that, Antonio was the one who programmed the fucking black box.
Yeah,
he made it. He gave that power to him. And then, like, for Jaden, it kind of made sense with the Shogun mode. Yes, I still consider that a battleizer. Whenever he like tamed the bulls, he used the Bullzerka, tamed the Bull Zord, that sort of thing. Whenever he was the one who kind of earned that, and yet everybody on the team was capable of using it.
That's what kind of pissed me off with Dino Thunder near the end, where everyone could use the Triassic. Was it the Triassic Zord?
Oh well, no. He granted them the ability to use the Triassic Shield. Like the Triassic Shield, it only granted him the power, but like. Haley constantly remember Haley she had to adjust their power sets so they weren't like drained every time that he activated it.
I appreciated in Dino Thunder how they actually managed to give, while they were brief and like usually one-liners, like they managed to give some explanation for why, only Connor can use the Triassic power. And like, yes, now Kira and Ethan are going to drop out of Morph, but Tommy's not because he already contributed his piece, and Trent's not because he contributed his piece. And I appreciated that.
The only thing that pissed me off about that plot point, they fixed it 2 episodes later, so it was pointless to have that plot point because.
Well, no, because it was a temporary thing and it needed to be fixed, and that was why they made it a plot point.
I just think if they did that plot point, it should have been something in an episode later where, like,
or at least it should have been more impactful.
Yeah, because they just demorphed for a bit and that was it. They never got targeted. They should have been targeted, and then.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I need a screwdriver.
Segue is segue.
He's building his own Power Ranger morph. I'm telling you.
No,
I
I'm
would
3D
not be
printing.
surprised.
I need a 3D printer.
Clear Canvas knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who found a way into the morphing grid.
Out of curiosity, who do you think was RJ's into the morphing grid? I've seen so many different theories, anywhere from like Haley to like Sensei Watanabe to like.
Okay, it was his friends, cousins, uncles, neighbors, brothers, something. So,
Zordon.
Ian, we're not talking. I'm sorry, but we're not talking about Beast Morphers because of not everybody in the call has actually seen it. I think it's just me and Brain so far.
I've seen it too, but like
I'm British, so
yes. So we can't talk about it. We can't talk about the show because of your nationality.
Blame Brexit.
Suddenly political.
Okay.
Suddenly political. It's like that. It's like that Astif joke. Suddenly pineapples.
You
What?
can't really talk about it because you lot know what it's about.
Yeah, no. Oh, that was
I
right.
don't know what it's about.
That's why I was gonna ask you earlier. Is I don't know what Brexit is. Changing back to the Rangers though. Ooh, we can talk about here's something we should probably, because we've been on the stream for about 2 hours now. We should probably end it with a good some like Ryu Soldier.
What?
Like
I haven't seen Rio Soldier, so
no, it hasn't even come.
I
It
might
hasn't
need
come
you to
out yet.
explain.
It hasn't come out yet. It's the next Sentai season, the one where they have the next Dino one, where they actually have like they have like the roll cage thing over their eyes, and it's awesome. I love their morpher. I love it. It's like a better version of the Ranger keys. Ooh, excuse me. It's like, okay, so here's how it works. They have the morpher on their wrist, and it looks like the dinosaur, and it looks like the T-Rex. They flip out the key, for whatever their Ranger power is. They put it in, and then they spin around the cage to cover up that action, and it like connects like a power circuit, and it's really cool looking. I'd ask if we could show the footage, but I think that would be an instant copyright claim.
That would be my ass. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing that's also why you keep the Ranger footage in so low quality.
I mean, Toei could still claims it every now and again anyway, but most times I can just challenge it because, you know, fair use is kind of the law. So even if they don't have it in Japan, they'd either have to like sue me from the other side of the world or just drop it.
Yeah, well, tell that to Jameski.
Someone in the chat got my name.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, the Ryu Soldier, I love that they're immediately going with like their the way that they access their weapons, and they look like the Dino suit, the Dino Charge, like the Dino Steel armor, or like the Dino Drive Spike, that sort of thing. Like I enjoy how they're armoring themselves up to combat things with the different dino powers. The only problem is I'm worried that they're going to do that too soon and be like over dependent on that. So whenever they do adapt it, because there's no way they can't, is there going to be enough footage of like actually earning that power rather than it just because like remember, there's a simple explanation for that.
Oh
There
God,
always is.
no. Those suits look terrible.
What do you mean? They look awesome.
I don't know. That don't look right.
I mean, it's bringing back the single colored sleeve. It even changes the even their arm guard is different.
I like the helmets a lot more than the actual suit designs.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no. Honestly, I prefer the suit to the helmet because I don't like that they're going with another Black Ranger. That sounds wrong, but trust me, it's not. Because like the problem is there are very few exceptions.
What are you trying to say, Clear Canvas?
No, there are very few exceptions where a Black Ranger suit actually fits like properly because the visors are always being black, except for like Time Force Beast Morphers, like they have the tinted visors. And it just doesn't look really right. That's why I said I loved the Wild Force whenever they had to face their Shadow Rangers. The suits were blacked out, so you didn't even tell that there was a visor. Like, because like Operation Overdrive, you see that they had to draw the white lines to outline the fact that he had a wraparound visor.
Mhm.
Overdrive.
Ow, my neck.
You are merely adopted into the Sentai, Batman. I was born in it.
Oh my gosh!
I wondered what would break first, your spirit or your body.
What?
Have you done your daily praise to Jaden of Nazareth today?
Oh, every day.
Silence.
Bringing a conversation up with Jaden never ends well.
Okay, so I think I've just given off the impression that everybody thinks I'm a racist.
What do you mean, you people?
You did start the sentence with, the thing I don't like about the black.
Black Ranger lives matter.
Get it trending.
Well, are we not going to talk about how Saban made the Ranger colors that ethnic?
Well,
like
what I
well,
find,
they
like how they no.
Apparently, they didn't even know.
Yeah, they didn't know.
Okay, so Zach, the black guy ends up being the Black Ranger. The Asian ends up the Yellow Ranger, and the guy who would be the next Red Ranger on the next team, he ends up being a Native American.
Yeah, but they didn't even know. Apparently, well, see, like,
Come on.
No,
I didn't even know the slang word for like. I didn't know that like Asians were sometimes called like yellow. I didn't know that up until like
when I was in
what,
undergrad.
junior?
No,
And
it's
so-
like sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Oh no, 'tis good.
Tis good.
It's if anybody's seen the comic, it's about the original. It's the three of the Mighty Morphin team. It was Rocky, Adam, and Billy. It was black power, red power, blue power. Well, hi there. Yeah, because there's Tommy with the white tigers. He can't...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, they must have realized.
Zangetsu, I've met Jason David Frank. Don't forget, he's like the best. Honestly, I think the Black Rangers, they're my favorites though, and I'm just saying, like, I just don't think that the suits like fit the rest of the team unless like it's the base color. Because like there was if any you guys have you guys at least seen the images of whenever Kimberly led the extra team of Rangers and how they had the black and the pink as the two main colors, and then whatever extra color was their main thing.
Wait, you mean in the Pink comics?
Yeah, the Power of Pink, or yeah, I mean not Power of Pink. That was
that was like
now I gotta
over
cry
a
in the
year
corner.
ago. I don't remember that very well.
Yeah, no, it was like the suits were primarily black. They had the pink lining and whatever color was the Ranger powers, and it was really cool. Why are we Asians being associated with yellow? I don't get it. Right, I'm not going to get into this discussion today. Okay.
Well,
I've already given off the impression that I'm racist. I'm not. Well,
no, go on.
Well, not
keep
offensive.
digging.
No, well, I'm fine with offensive jokes if that makes it any better.
they must have known, like, while casting Zach. Do you think this might come off racist? Why?
I mean, you'd be surprised though. Like even nowadays, you'd be surprised about how many things that people just don't consider when it comes to that. I mean, there was that one incident like a few months ago where I don't remember the company, but they had like a young black kid and he was wearing a coat that said like "coolest monkey in the jungle" or something, and that was like a shitstorm. That was a shitstorm.
That was British. That was British because we are fucking clever, aren't we? Primark.
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm sorry.
Coolest.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah. They learned real quickly they can't do that.
No.
H&M, that's a British skill. Yeah, that's from my country.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Oy.
Yeah,
I'll
that
just
was
give you an insight. British are racist.
Yeah, no, I heard that like outside of London, like that's like London is like the only PC thing about England.
No. London's bad for it. They just hide it.
Well, it's because luckily for you, everybody's racist, including the other races, so you don't have to worry about it as much. Here, if you have that, then you'll just get beaten up for a hate crime.
Yeah.
And we got into the politics.
Oh, it just never ends.
Is there any way we can get ourselves out of this rabbit hole?
I feel like with the Tommy becoming the Red Ranger, though, I feel like that was
more of an accident.
Yeah, it was an accident, so that's fine.
Yeah, but Riot just brought up how not Johnny Young Bosch, David Yost was harassed for being homo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, that honestly, that's like he's like we had a private discussion about this, but like he's like the only real gay celebrity I respect because he didn't make his career out of it, and like I mean he inspired people to be the best versions of themselves, and whenever he finally took that advice, it meant him leaving the show.
Yeah. Well, and he's still so nice to the fandom, even though he didn't part with
he never even
on the greatest terms.
No, he still hasn't even watched the episode in which Billy grows old.
Right, and so like I think if Hasbro played their cards right, they could probably get Yost to make a cameo, if only for a couple minutes.
They'd have to fix that first. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How Rangers are unions.
I hate unions. It's
I feel like if it were simpler, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But because there's like the power struggle between multiple unions, we have.
I know that's why.
Like at least with the actors unions.
It's why I hate mass groups, like I said.
But
it's like one of the RPM, either silver or gold. One of the lad
Mike
plays.
Jin is also in a union.
Yeah, Mike Jin's he's in a union. That's gold. But that's why Silver. I can't remember her name right now. That's why she came back is because she's not.
Yeah, Lee Ming Hu.
Well, and that's why Ika wasn't able to like actually make a full cameo.
Yeah,
when he came back.
He did the voiceover, and honestly, I kind of admit that it was kind of cool that like they explained it the way that they did. Like he can't tell if the air is safe to breathe because the atmosphere in his world.
Oh yeah.
I've got a question about
that. Made sense and all, but the thing that I just didn't really think made that much sense is that while he did he was from the other thing, he like the first thing that Dylan had was first thing that he was shown with was he had a breathing mask, and he had a what's the thing that reads the
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Geiger counters.
Yes.
Yeah, to check for the radiation. He should have there should be stuff in the suit that tells them that, because they spent how many days out in the wastes.
What?
Or even.
Sorry,
go ahead.
No, you.
I was just gonna say, or even like they're able to like pull so much out of the suits, like the weapons, they just come out of nowhere, right? Like surely Dr. K, like the smartest like person that we've probably ever seen on the show, would be able to come up with a way to make like the Geiger meter like come out of the suit.
Well,
it could be really cheesy, but still, it's a thing.
Don't forget, he presses a button on his belt to make a sword come out of his chest.
I'm really glad you added from the chest.
Yeah.
That was getting to some.
Yeah, and not to mention that for some, like the RPM universe, like there's no way that Scott didn't tell Dr. K about the symbol power, because like if the Shark Sword was able to be compatible with the RPM suit, like there's no way that she can't use that, because because everybody has their own lifeblood and everything, and there's no way that Mike's power itself was like based on the forest and bringing back life.
Right. I will be so impressed if Beast Morphers makes a reference to RPM by claiming that the Morph X is getting energy from biological systems.
There's only one thing that annoyed me with the first episode of Beast Morphers. Reference Sledge. They should not know about that.
No, they would, because remember, Sledge captured the Ninja Steel Rangers, and whenever the Christmas episode happened.
Well, the important thing
I've kept away from Ninja Steel.
The important thing to remember about that is that the mayor specifically mentioned villains from all across dimensions. So in whatever universe that Beast Morphers is operating from, which is kind of a mystery in and of itself at this point, they are aware that villains have been doing this interdimensional hopping, and that Rangers have existed in all of those different dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this really.
Yeah, you're behind. You're very behind on a lot of stuff.
I'm not watching Ninja Steel.
Nor should you.
They can't act.
I mean, you could just like only watch the anniversary season episodes, and
you could just watch my videos.
I don't know. That pretty fine without missing anything.
That's all
even
I've
if
done.
you haven't seen the
Ninja
Steel series.
They can't act. It's annoying.
I tried to watch the first episode of Megaforce, and I just could not stand the acting.
It's terrible.
Well, but it's not even the actor's fault with Megaforce, because like you watch them in real life and they're so entertaining.
Like Troy's
can actually do a much better job.
Just a guy.
Just that.
Yeah, I thought that like Troy's actor, like I assumed like from like Troy being like as Troy-y as he is, that like he must be like such boring dude, and like he must be like a terrible actor. But if they had just let him be himself as he went in there, like there's this hilarious like story of him pranking Ciara Hanna, and it's really, really funny. About she made cookies or whatever, and then he like he took them and moved them, but he left the bowl and he left crumbs in the bowl, and then he left a note in the bowl about how he ate them. And and this is like really funny. Like we would be entertained by people who can interact like this, and because that was part of what was missing in Mega Fail.
Actually,
Mega flop.
To be fair, Dino Charge didn't have too bad acting.
Yeah, Dino Charge's acting was like that was like the biggest shock. Like watching that versus watching everything from Megaforce. Like they just let a lot of the actors just act, and it really shows.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Brenger?
Yeah, Brennan Mejia.
No, that's the problem, is that they stopped with that with Ninja Steel. Is that like you could tell that Peter Sidarso had to do so much acting rather than actually being an actor. Like I mean, they made that a plot point with Jax. You can tell that someone's acting rather than which he did admittedly. That was the only character development he got, is that he improved his acting capability.
Ironic.
Lovely.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think that people are getting tired of how late the stream is going. The podcast.
Well, we still got 42 people strong.
40, yeah, 40 now.
Yeah.
It's
or right
2:30
now.
in the morning for me.
38. Yeah, we're dropping a couple here and there.
Oh,
No.
for reference, one of the people that we lost was me.
Oof.
Oh,
I closed
God.
my computer.
Are we that boring?
No. I
kidding,
closed my computer because I wanted to move, but my computer is plugged in, so I can't move with the computer. So I was like, just shut it, and I shut it.
Yeah. Oof.
It makes
Sorry.
sense, but I'm still gonna choose to be offended by it.
Yeah. No. That reminds that there's just so much that they could have done, like even them with like animation or characters being characters rather than being people. Stormhawks, if anybody remembers that show, it's such it's an old gem from 2007 to 2009. The anniversary of its cancellation is coming up soon. Brain, you gotta watch that. I'm telling you.
I will get on that eventually, but my watch list is so incredibly massive.
Well, I'm.
I feel that.
I'm telling you though. Wait, did you not even look up the one episode like I told you?
No, I did look up that one episode. I saw the link that you sent.
Yeah, like, and you can see how like genuine they were just from the first episode.
Yeah, I did get that feeling.
Yeah, they were quirky, and they stay quirky while still being people, despite one of them being a monster. One of them being like a lizard man, and the other one being pretty much just a rhino.
It looks like you got a fellow Stormhawks fan in the chat. AAA loves it.
Where is he? Yes, Stormhawks is amazing. Same guy did Dragon Booster and Slugterra. Yeah, I know he did Slugterra, but I mostly know the voice actor from also being Martin Mystery. Just so weird to say that.
Wait, his name is Martin Mystery?
No, there's a show called Martin Mystery that he also voice acted. It was the side show from Totally Spies. Yeah, that one. It was really good actually, but then like it's 2019, 10 years ago, 9 came out, and like there was just so much human emotion, and it was only an hour and 20 minutes long or something. Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes, and like you can see like that takes this that's the entire time slot of 4 whole Ranger episodes, and yet they're more emotional than an entire season.
Yeah,
it's dark.
All right, I pulled it back up.
Nice.
Have you guys seen the 2002 He-Man series?
We don't talk about that.
Wait, I have seen that He-Man series.
Yeah, I remember watching that, and I feel really bad. It kind of ended on a cliffhanger.
So did well, yeah, that was Stormhawks.
It really built up like Skeletor had actually captured the Grayskull, and Adam and crew were starting to fight.
Who's disliked the stream?
And
I don't know. I saw that earlier.
That's whatever.
And then at the end, they were building up this huge battle to take back Castle Grayskull, and then it never happened.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that reminds me of the ending of the Shaman King anime. Like, it literally ends on all the surviving shamans from the tournament they had getting called back to fight their next fight, and then they never fight it because the show ends.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're gonna talk about disappointing endings, Akame ga Kill.
Well, I haven't seen
apparently
that yet.
Apparently they're rebooting it to be more accurate to the manga, which I didn't read the manga yet. Yeah, shame on me. But
I don't know what you're wrong about, so shame on me.
I just really hated Mine so much. Such a horrible character. She did not. So many things wrong with that show.
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of a little bit divisive.
What?
Sounds like someone's Verizon. Oh, yep, someone's in a call. Is that Millennial?
Yeah, of course it's normal.
I think Mullet.
So, since we're kind of on the topic of finales, like, I think Power Rangers has been able to do some really good finales. Like,
yeah.
Countdown to Destruction.
End of MMPR season 3.
I think
by that I mean the end of the Alien Ranger arc.
What was? Oh, that's before jumping. I'm gonna jump out.
That was kind of like the template of how to do a season finale for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump back to the endings in a sec, but I will admit my favorite thing about the Alien Ranger suits, they all had the colored collars. Nobody else has done that. But for the finales, I think mine, not Lost Galaxy, because that was like too perfect, and like, not to say that I didn't appreciate the bittersweetness of it. but it just didn't really sit well with me.
This is where you get kicked out now for insulting Lost Galaxy.
Oh boy. Well, I guess we gotta throw hands now.
No, but like every finale, I could find something wrong with that I at least remember from it, because like in space, the evil didn't really end. Lost Galaxy, I just said.
Yeah.
Lightspeed, I like that they actually go back.
But when they made it, they wanted it to be the end. They didn't expect it.
Well, they expected it to be the end. They didn't want it to.
Yeah. They expected.
Then there was I think Time Force. I think I hated it because of the fact that Jen and Wes could never be together, despite their reunion in the very next season.
It was such a good finale, but it was such a sad finale.
Wild Force, I think, just because I hated Princess Shayla so much, and I honestly just didn't like Wild Force.
Boy.
I didn't like Wild Force that much to begin with, so like what happened with Merrick just pissed me off.
Princess Shayla literally gave up on the Rangers and let Animus and Merrick fight Giant Master Org by themselves. The Defenders, the Guardians of the Earth, and she's like, no, this is too much for you. Like, what was that?
Then, despite being proved time and time again, Ninja Storm, it was just way too lax the entire season. It didn't take itself seriously enough to make it matter. Dino Thunder, I think, probably has one of my favorites with like you mentioned in your Ranger discussion how how Mesogog, like him giving in was like such a it was way more poetic than that. Grum getting captured
until Disney Brain talked about that in his video, and then I appreciated that more than I had before. But what I really appreciated in the Dino Thunder ending was like Elsa losing the power and then becoming human again. I thought that was really interesting because
in the meantime, not to mention because Elsa was way more devoted to Mesogog. Meanwhile, Zeltrax, while he was cast aside and he didn't even want his old life back. Meanwhile, she didn't even remember having an older life.
Right.
A quick note about Dino Thunder is it actually shows you how messed up Mesogog is. That he kidnapped Elsa, obviously, and he walked about with Zeltrax. Like, that's fucking dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Not to mention keeping Anton a prisoner in his own mind.
Yeah.
Right.
But to be fair, he couldn't help that. Like, it was a Jekyll and Hyde type of fun.
Well, I mean, even then, at that point, they were still the same person, and Anton had to become more human in order to expel him.
Yeah.
Which is something that I think should have been mentioned a bit more. I liked Doggy being the one to finally fight Grum, but that just completely excluded any of the other Rangers' actual inclusion from the finale. Honestly, what they should have done was what's his name, the old guy who killed his Sky's dad or something. Him and Grum should have
Murloc?
Him and Grum should have teamed up to be the final bosses of the season, and giving him the final fight as the Red Ranger. That would have been better.
Yeah,
that would have been really cool.
Mystic Force, Mystic Force was just a slightly worse version of it was a slightly worse version of the one that they did in space. I did like that everybody contributed their magic to it though.
I forgot where I saw it now. But
Overdrive, I admit I think Overdrive has to have my favorite finale because everybody
really.
Yeah, because everybody actually went on with their lives, and
even more so than Countdown to Destruction.
Yeah, because like I said, for Countdown, it didn't really evil still existed. That sacrifice is almost entirely in vain. It saved Corone, which led to saving the people from Terra Venture, but I don't know. I just had too
invasion. I don't know if it was necessarily vain though, because even though
I'm not saying it
was
was entirely in vain, but like, remember, Dark Spectre ended up getting himself destroyed by his own forces, so that wasn't an issue. Corone, while she was clearly defeated. So if Andros had stopped, not Vilmax, why can I not remember his name right now? Ecliptor, thank you. Like if he had stopped Ecliptor and like called for the armies to stop themselves, it would have made more sense. But I mean, like the redemption of Zed and Rita, that just led to way more plot holes. So like, I don't like how it stands up, like in terms of how well it's aged. So that's kind of like how it works for me.
That's a fair point.
You know for Mystic?
Yeah.
Yeah, then after Overdrive, there was Jungle Fury, which I honestly didn't really care much for it because of like they still got their powers, and I loved the whole symbolism of Jared starting from the beginning. The only thing is I didn't really care for the final fight because it just how stupidly ridiculous, or no, how absolutely ridiculous Daishi looked. I mean, I love that Jared was the one who actually ended Daishi, but like. Remember, they close their eyes. They remember lessons that they were never even taught, and then, bam! Let's stop the bad guy. So after Jungle Fury, there's
I really
RPM.
think Jungle Fury truly ends when Casey gets his Master Stripes. That's like really the thematic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is the full end. I feel like the episodes leading up to the final battle are the real actual end.
Yeah.
Like maybe if Jared was so convinced that Daishi had done so much to him that he's like fighting in vain, and then eventually like saving Jared meant saving Jared's mind from thinking like he is evil, that would have been better. And RPM, I'm pretty sure that you discussed a way better ending in your video, how like if everybody from Corinth had to stop Venjix together, and because like as they are humanity, they have to fight for humanity together. That's the only way they can win. I thought
that would have been the perfect ending because there's so much that Ranger team did in service of that theme, because there's so many just normal Corinth people that are better now than they used to be, specifically because of what the Rangers did as people, just the same.
Exactly. Then Samurai, I honestly also kind of enjoyed, because you saw whenever Xandrid actually came to the human world, he changed so dramatically from, I mean, aside from being like angry and sick all the time, like he did actually care for Dayu for raising, like for being with him all those years, and like he became rather cunning in my from what I saw, like rather cold, a lot more than he really was, but still like temperamental and everything. Especially with the rage that he had for Jaden's father for sealing him away for all that time. And whenever they actually whenever they went to end everything, they still held the responsibility of being samurai, but at the same time, like they didn't really treat it like much of a responsibility. When everything was said and done, they just treated it like it was another day in their life. I mean, it technically was, but they took it way too lax.
Yeah.
You know how on Mystic Force you mentioned like how everyone came together? You know, I saw a theory somewhere, and you know the creatures from the woods, they actually become the creatures in SPD, like they're actually alien type of things.
Some of them, yeah. I'm pretty sure that that's why Gingy, whenever he that's why they had him meeting Piggy as the the crossover episode. Because they didn't have a crossover with SPD for reasons of space-time continuum. Cough, cough.
That would be so good, though. Imagine it, though. Complete magic with complete technology. Like that would have been such a good episode.
Well, I think the problem would have been that like their SPD was like way too focused on actual orders and chain of command. Meanwhile, Xander, who like he was proving himself to be the leader of the team instead of Nick so many times, like it just didn't make much sense.
Nick was barely the leader.
You know,
of
that's
himself.
actually happened a lot. Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Brain?
That's what I had to say. Nick was barely the leader of himself.
Yeah, no, he was leading the team for the entire season.
And well, and there are so many like Rangers who have led their team even though they're not the red.
Yeah, like Jen, Tommy.
Jen.
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor for
everybody
a full
goes
year.
to Jen.
TJ.
Oh yeah.
During In Space, I would actually argue that he was more of
he was more of a leader than
Andros.
Yeah, Andros was a shot caller, yeah, but he didn't really lead the team emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
He just provided the equipment.
Like if TJ had said,
that sounds way more
"No,
dirty than
we're
it
not
should.
doing that. We're gonna do this instead," the rest of the Rangers probably would have supported him.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, there's a difference between following his lead and following his directions.
Right.
And he gave directions, and which is both a good and a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to talk about how horrible the Megaforce and Super Megaforce were, because they pretty much gained and lost nothing for the entire show.
Yep.
Yeah, Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge. Honestly,
no,
yeah.
Actually, I'd argue that they lost our respect.
Brutal. Well, you assume they ever had it.
The thing is, though, they grab you by the throat and he says, "You know time," and it's like it gives you a middle finger about it. Fuck off.
Yep.
It pissed me off, that finale so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the yeah. Then, like, it was clear that like Dino Supercharge, because that was going to happen. Like, it kind of I think the technical finales for these seasons, though, they should be the Christmas episode, because that was the last one that actually happens in continuity. Because like, okay, Dino. Well, sort of, because yeah, I mean, it happened for Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel, because the Christmas episodes were they were the best ones of either season, with actual character growth and everything like that. But as for the final fight for Ninja Steel, because we already talked about Dino Charge earlier in the stream, but Ninja Steel, I think, like, just too much of it was dependent on Preston, who has had almost no character development aside from his dad had a ribbon.
Oh, that episode was a tragedy.
I've not even seen the series, and that just sounds stupid.
It is. It's about as dumb as it sounds.
Let me tell you exactly how stupid it is. So, apropos of nothing, Preston has daddy issues, and then the daddy issues disappear because Daddy Dearest found this ribbon in a tree that he just so happens to want to cut down, and then Preston's dad never appears again. The problem just goes away.
He showed his dad the ribbon, so I mean, I'll give it that. But yeah, no, his dad never shows up again. There's like no other conflict that Preston ever has aside from Calvin thinking that Haley's cheating on him with her, on him with him, because of the Romeo and Juliet play. Spoilers, sorry, but it's really pointless.
Yep.
Didn't they break up as well, that couple?
Something like that. I honestly lost track.
During the Super Ninja Steel finale, like I think it's the first part of it's really a 3-part finale. They did actually break up, specifically due to Haley's acting, or in Calvin's interpretation, lack thereof, which I find kind of funny, because the Neo Saban era Rangers are like critiquing each other's acting, and that's what ends a relationship.
That's great.
That's a pretty fitting finale.
That's pretty good, yeah. But
someone from the Disney era just going, "Mate, you can't, or any of you can't fucking act. You might as well just fuck off."
Pretty much, yeah. No. But I mean, yeah. Presto, Changeo, yeah. You get the spell, and everybody has the everybody ends up with the powers of the actual Ninja Nexus star, the original one, which his dad had, but none of them what they should have done is either have I'm gonna call him Boom because I really can't be bothered to remember his name right now.
Nick.
And Banebo come back with their ninja powers, or give the entire team like their Super Ninja Steel, like their Zord suits, those their Ninja Master Mode armor or something like that, actually make it look like there's something important happening to them to make it worth the final fight.
And the sad part about that is that Preston is the only one that has this enhanced ability, based specifically as Mick/Boom described it, as him reacting to the Ninja Steel. And I mean, that part's not very well explained, but for everyone else, nobody else gets like this enhanced ability to do anything based on the Ninja Steel reacting to them.
Or no, even worse than that. Well, Preston believes in magic, that sort of thing, and he always wanted to do tricks. And they mention in the anniversary that everybody knows about the past Ranger teams. That means Mystic Force.
Yeah.
That means they know about them, and and they specifically even mentioned the Mighty Morphin team, how Rita Repulsa used her evil magic.
I mean, Mystic Force might get away with it because Briarwood does seem to be like a low-key.
Well, even then, their magic is just manipulating the Morphin grid.
I mean, you could argue, like, I've seen a lot of fan theories that, like, Briarwood, in order to protect the magical creatures that like, the city or whatever is accepting.
Oh, they already cloaked. I mean, Briarwood was originally cloaked anyways, so.
Right, so, like, they don't want it to escape to the rest of the world.
Yeah, but like they already knew, like Megaforce knew about their magic abilities, and they mentioned that they knew about the other Rangers, including Mystic Force, and they teamed up with Rangers who, wait a minute, who all showed up? Who all fought with Mystic Force? That was Bridge, Tori. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I think the only one who even would have been there for the Overdrive Once a Ranger event was the only one who even knew about that, who would have even possibly been part of the team, would have been Trent, because of Kira, and we don't know if they ended up getting together or not.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things where, like, they built it up, but then they never did anything with it. So then you gotta wonder if it was actually a thing or not.
Well, in SPD, it is said that Kay was chasing her music, so I'm guessing they never got together.
Well, I mean, if he's an artist, let alone a freelance artist, he's able to travel anywhere.
I mean, did he become a comic book artist though? Because I feel like that's more.
That was what he wanted to do, yeah. Because as a comic artist, you don't need to have a specific location.
He wrote.
I mean, unless you're like working for the studio, but he was making his own. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
He wrote Shattered Grid.
We should make that canon.
I've actually not read Shattered Grid yet.
It's.
I haven't either. You're not alone.
I've had to piece most of it together from Comic Storian.
Mm-hmm.
Retro Riot. Mystic Force gave me the big gay when I was 12. Then I discovered Kamen Rider Kabuto online. And it gave me the big straight. That sounds way dirtier than it should.
I mean, certain parts of Lost Galaxy have given me the big.
Kev, we already said we're not in the podcast. We're not going to be talking about Beast Morphers. Maybe next week or week after.
I like that.
Brain, you cut out a little bit when your mic cut out.
Oh, that was intentional because I was referencing how Leo gave me the big gay. And now I said it out loud.
Yes, you did.
Sorry about that.
Tara says, I mean, Nick didn't believe in magic, and it was his show. I mean, yeah, that's the thing, though, is like, I mean, he was, okay, she's disappointed in you, Brain. She's disappointed in all of us.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Sorry, Tara.
Like, all right, everyone, stream over. She just said that. No, I like being here. Brain ruined everything.
Actually, about
Brian.
Force,
Brian.
So much Linkara.
My brother Disney Brian ruined everything.
All right, what was that you said?
Does anyone watch Linkara? Like History of the Power Rangers.
I've seen.
Well, he made a good point.
Videos.
Yeah.
he's made a good point. Like with the believing in magic thing, it is a plot point.
Yeah.
It's a plot hole because believing in magic.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it should have automatically been real for Preston rather than having to wait for the for the Ninja Steel to show up.
Like it's weird, but
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Nice one.
Believing
I know
in
this
magic,
is a segue, but I think
go on.
someone really wants us to talk about Best 6th Ranger debut because they've mentioned it 2 or 3 times in the chat.
I saw it like
Alright.
5.
Let's do it then.
We should do it.
What is that?
But yeah, before that, I guess we should talk best favorite 6th Ranger and favorite 6th Ranger debut. It doesn't have to be the same Ranger.
Oh, that's a good.
Who's
that's
going
a good
first?
diff-
Then?
Yeah.
Let's get some order back.
Ooh.
My favorites have to be the first 2 Gold Rangers, because Zio and Antonio. Well, yeah, because he's not the one of the first ones, but like Antonio, he's my favorite because he brought so much more life to that team
so
rather
much
than
more.
Not to mention like even with the semi-Spanish catchphrases, as you said, he's just like always so enjoyable to have on screen. Not to mention he's such a powerful asset. Jason, however, I'm glad that they brought him in for being worthy of the Zio staff. Like the way that they brought him in was just so much better. Not to mention like he did like I saw Austin St. John's vlog on this, is like whenever he was asked to bring Jason back to the show, like he was a completely different person by the time he returned, as well as even when he was in the Turbo movie. He's not the same Jason that he was before. Rather than an angsty punk, he's now laid back and like he's more set on the here and now.
Yeah, nice.
Have you seen what Tara put in chat?
Apparently, Leo is one of my mistresses.
And
right, so the pool grows.
Brain, you know what you've done?
What?
You know what you've done? I'm going to draw a picture of this.
Oh
no! Leo, please
and
don't. Please don't.
You all know what I'm capable of.
Please don't.
I'm gonna write the fan fiction.
Can it be
you
me?
all know what I'm
Can
capable
it be me
of.
and Kendall
Please
instead?
Don't.
Leo is your waifu. You cannot deny it.
Oh my lord! He's like 5th on the list.
Okay. So my favorite 6th Ranger.
Like guys, look at the comments for the stream.
No! Somebody say no! This isn't JoJo. Somebody say no!
I'm dying. Why is my laugh so wrong?
Okay.
Oh no! I'm being shipped with Leo.
Disney Leo is your shit.
I laugh like a fucking horse. Oh fuck! Oh my god! You guys are the only ones who are denying it. Everybody else is still saying yes.
Oh my god!
How can I fix this?
Leo Brain OTP.
There is no
Thank you, Dark
stopping it.
Darcy. Thank you, Darcy.
There. That was better.
I'm sorry, Tara.
Thank you, Amanda.
Leo
That
X
is the
Kendricks
proper.
while Disney
that is
Brain
the proper
watches.
shit. That is the proper shit.
Yes, because yeah.
No.
It all Brain's job
I've
is
been sending too many messages.
Brain's job in the entire relationship is just to watch from afar because he's so deeply in love with both of them.
Oh my god.
In the great words of Colin Mockery, I was part of the letter H.
Oh my
Leo
god.
and Kendricks just look to the side and he's just there, staring. Hey,
What am I, a voyeur now? What is going on here?
Oh my Christ, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Just watching from outside a window pane like, God, I wish that was me.
Okay, I need to bring it down to like a 5 because I forget that my baby brother's sleeping in a few rooms over.
Oh no.
No, you have to wake him up and teach him. Leon is
Don't worry, he'll learn Power Rangers soon enough.
Very nice.
Please don't.
He'll learn Rangers soon enough.
As
Plot
any
twist,
good
Leo
big brother
left.
should teach.
Plot
Well,
twist,
that's the
Oh,
thing,
you were
is
talking
I'm-
about Rangers. Never mind then. Please do teach him about Rangers.
What did you think I was gonna? Oh
Don't
my
teach him
god!
about my mistresses. No, leave that out of it.
Analysis, no.
So this is
Analyst, no.
This is sex. They go together.
So many times people make dirty jokes and they go over my head, and then
And that's the
someone's
one.
not making a dirty joke,
Oh, hey.
and I find, ugh.
You find a way to make it dirty.
Oh my god, chat's going nuts.
Plot
Wait,
twist:
no,
Leo left brain for Kendricks.
Oh.
Have you seen what song called? Leo Brain. Leo Brain.
Peyton, no, you've not really missed much. Brain faints when Leo rips his shirt off.
Well, who
Protect your
wouldn't?
bro from the big gay. Oh. I've seen weird things on the... Spoiler, Leo left brain for Boom. I love this chat. I love you guys.
Oh my god, you guys wildin'. Oh my. You guys are the best.
Oh my gosh.
Never
Okay,
change, chat.
we're going on to 3 hours. Let's talk about our 6th Ranger thing.
Yeah. I think it was Amanda's
Okay.
turn.
My favorite 6th Ranger is Eric.
Nice.
And because I think, yeah, he's just like, he's so different, and
He's
his
Eric.
motivations are so different from the rest of his team.
Oh yeah. No,
Like,
he's
even though he's like almost as angsty as Jen is, and like as
but
tense,
he's the first Ranger to ever do it for selfish reasons.
right. And it's interesting because then eventually he's doing it for selfish reasons. You kind of like him anyway. And then
Hang on. Drive Motion says Todd was weave with stream.
Look at
We ain't even PG-13 no more.
Doggy X Leo X Brain.
12. That's how
Oh gosh, no.
no.
That'd make both
Blah.
of them furries.
But
Plus he's
and
married.
I think the best, or at least my favorite Ranger, like 6th Ranger introduction, was with Zane. Because like he was in that cryogenic stasis for the longest time. Or
That's true.
Was that what it was? I don't know.
He
Yeah.
was stuck in the healing pod.
Yeah, and then like, and they kind of build it up, and then all of a sudden he's like moving, and you don't know if he's dead or if he's like fine or if he's like, I don't know, if you've already seen the Evil Ranger, or you're like, oh, is he gonna wake up and be evil? And then like,
Yeah, no, that's what I was honestly thinking that they were going to do at first.
right.
But like then they had the Space Rangers be so important. Not to mention that they like the Psycho Rangers, which is
Mhm.
weird that the Psycho Silver, like it's sold as a toy as being Psycho Silver, but nobody ever mentions that it really was Zane.
They should just have the tagline "It's a prank, bro" on the box.
No.
Yeah.
You know, like when you press the button, it should be Logan Paul going, it's just a prank. bro."
Oh my god!
They was
Now is this gonna be for the forest or the tased rat?
Wait, what
Wait, Forrest
tased
is
rat?
Logan
He
Paul.
tased a rat,
No,
Who
Honest-
tased a rat?
Logan Paul. Honestly, I can't say I blame him though. Because- That one was actually kind of funny. Jet W, welcome. Jewett W, welcome to the Brain Gang. Brain, I'm
Yay.
doing your job.
Thanks.
Oh,
Wait, no. I'm gonna do the fan art, but I'm also gonna make it like look really crappy, like some really horrible Tumblr DeviantArt looking
Oh,
thing.
no, you gotta make it proper.
I'm gonna make that later. But right now, I need it to be as meany as possible.
Oh lord.
So who's next for the 6th Ranger thing?
I think you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make him
So-
as wide as Ben Swallow.
Favorite 6th Ranger is easily Trent Mercer, aka the White Dino Thunder Ranger. He looks fucking cool. I mean, come on, the red visor. Like, wait, was it red?
Yeah, red visor
It
and a
was,
black
yeah.
and a black collar. Not many people notice that.
It just gave. It was so much cooler than any other suit I've seen. I liked the Zord part, the legs, like we talked about earlier. God, that annoyed the fuck out of me. The skinny legs on his Megazord.
Sorry to interrupt you, but also I think it was cool how the White Ranger's like trench suit, like the striping on the side, you could take it as like a reference to the White Tiger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, that actually does. That works. Yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's like kind of cool.
Honestly, I love that they gave the Abare Killer another dagger.
I've just noticed something. You know how the White Dino Thunder, like Trent and Tommy, are meant to be similar because they went both evil. They both had a shield over their shoulders. I've just realised. He's the only one from Dino. Anyway, I'm getting off topic there. Favorite debut is probably Omega Ranger. Just good when he jumps out the Zord and like the music that plays. I love that, how it's all like, I don't know.
That was pretty cool.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's like,
you know what I'm ashamed about right now?
What?
The fact that the drawing that I've got so far, like the head from his hair all the way down to like his to his waist, it looks amazing, and then his arms and legs are just like horribly memed. Because like I drew the perfect pecs, and then yeah, don't take that out of context.
And this is after you were complaining about the legs on Megazords.
Oh no! It's worse. It's way worse.
Wait, Ring, are you going to put this fang art on the screen when he's done it?
Wait, are you gonna finish it by the time we finish?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna be just a short meme one. I'm gonna make a full production of this another time.
Oh yeah, then I'll definitely put it on stream.
I want to see this.
Oh, you will not be disappointed.
Oh man.
Wait, get Jaden in there.
Jaden watching from up above. Saying yes, my
Someone
child.
else please share your Sixth Ranger.
I guess
stuff.
I can share mine.
His
So-
pants are morphing.
So one Sixth Ranger introduction that I actually really liked was actually Antonio's, and specifically because I really liked how they introduced his power set. I really liked how the Barracuda blade functions in fights, and how he was proven to be so much faster and in a lot of ways more effective than a lot of the samurai that was already there. And and kind of in a way, the fact that Antonio was for me the best part of Samurai made Mentor G look that much worse in relation.
And that just made the rest of the season more enjoyable.
We don't really need this guy. I mean, he could probably beat Kevin one-on-one, but we need to save the world and stuff, and Nylocks are spreading all over the place, and that's why Jaden can't do it himself to begin with. But in trying to teach Jaden the lesson of working together with a variety of divergent people, I guess we're not going to accept this guy because he's just too divergent, except for the fact that Samurai also use technology, i.e. their Zords to fight, so nothing that Antonio's doing is really that different, except he was trained a little differently, and apparently better because he's so much faster than everyone else. I mean,
he trained by himself, but don't forget, like, he still knew the move. Plus, he had the Octozord to train him. He was trained specifically by one of the Zords.
Did he just get really quiet for everyone?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Just hear me?
Yeah.
It sounded like you ran across the room and started talking.
Oh, jeez. No, what I said was, like, he was specifically trained by a Zord. Like, that's never happened before.
Yeah, and if anything, they should have been looking to him for, like, more advanced training, because in theory, if Antonio could learn how to be, like, that quick, then all of the other Rangers could theoretically learn it.
Not to mention how unorthodox his fighting style was.
Yeah. And
despite like even though they knew the technique, but it was just thought impossible by the main team of samurai.
Unorthodox and effective.
Okay, Brain, I finished the horribly crappy Mimi drawings.
Oh, yes.
It's hard to see, but
Oh,
there's
no.
there's the Disney head has a brain in it and it's blushing. But you notice what you remember what I said about his torso and head being amazingly drawn, but everything else was memey?
Yep.
I wasn't kidding.
You were not kidding. Not even a little bit.
Oh, I think everybody wants to see now. We
yeah.
just had a huge boost. We're back up to 44 people.
Oh my god, that's why. All right.
Let's get more people in this.
All right.
Okay, everybody. I hope you're ready for one hell of a sight.
I'm getting ready to send my message into it.
Here we go.
Oh my god, Tara was like, Canvas, I love you for this.
There we go.
Don't worry, Tara. It's because I hate me. It's not on this. There we go.
Everyone get a good look.
You're gonna have to increase the size. Vampeneze Lord. Vampeneze no.
That's me.
No. Wait. Zoom in on the little Disney blushing.
Oh my lord.
Oh no.
Oh,
Is it weird that they look more like flustered eyes, like you're really in love, instead of the actual blushing cheeks that
Why
they're
am I wearing
supposed
a
to?
Sailor Moon outfit?
I can't tell that.
Why do I look like a Japanese
blushing.
schoolgirl?
It looks more like distracted eyes, and I love that.
I thought it looked more like sunglasses, but that's just me.
Do not show us, please. Oh, poor Ferris. Mimi, this isn't Digimon. Thank you, Timothy, for making that joke.
Canvas. Yes? Why does it look like he's just ripped Sonic's head off?
No. It looks like No. He's only got 3 fingers and he's wearing fingerless gloves.
I thought that those were scraps of his shirt.
Ba something. Welcome to the think tank. Welcome to the brain gang. Your message was cut off by the thing. We're sorry, but look at the glory of little brain Chan, basking in the glory of Leo Senpai.
Oh my god.
I need to make this an actual drawing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Will it be in the art of all sorts
Oh
thing?
my god. Guys, you know Eli from the server?
Yeah.
He made his own Discord, the Church of Jadenism. I'm joining.
What? Where is this?
He just sent me a DM.
Oh, never mind.
Oh my god, that is amazing. I'm gonna share it to you guys. Wait, I can't. I don't have a share link. I'm sure he'll share it to you guys soon enough. I love this. I love this. Jaden of Nazareth. Oh, Tara got one too.
Wait,
Nice.
where's mine?
I see that Leo Senpai skips leg day, just like all good One Piece characters do. It's not like I like you or anything, Baka, by Disney Brain Channel.
I'm never gonna live this down.
Timothy says, "Kill it with fire." Yikes, that's disturbing.
Oh man.
Did we cover everyone's favorite sixth and stuff?
Well, I didn't mention my favorite 6 after I talked about Antonio, but
yeah, his favorite introduction. That was his introduction.
Well, I would say that my favorite 6th Ranger is probably Kruger, specifically because he was such a impressive commander before that. So even if he never became a Ranger, he'd still be like a top tier Ranger character. But just in terms of what Doggy Kruger does for each of his Rangers, at least the ones that get developed the most.
Yeah, you knew what Kruger was bringing to the table beforehand, and then he ended up getting the power up.
Yeah, and most impressively, he knew exactly how to challenge his Rangers and how to utilize their different skill sets. I mean, a lesser commander would have been more wary of Bridge's uniqueness, but the commander like actively encourages it most of the time, and like with Sky, most importantly, not giving him the reins of Red Ranger right off the bat, and being able to bring out the best of Jack and Z, who he kind of sort of knows before he even truly recruits them, but at the same time, they were still wild cards. Which is
I
why
have to admit, though, that's probably the one thing I didn't like them. I didn't like that much about the season as a whole is that when he actually decided for some reason to reveal that all of their parents were formerly part of SPD, how on earth would you let 2 of your former employees' children just grow up with poverty?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell is wrong
The
with
best
that?
explanation that I've seen for it is
There's a
completely
good explanation.
like it's like completely fan theory, fan fiction, but like so much so that it's got to be AU, but like still it had it so that it unfortunately it painted Kruger in a bad light, but like, which was just depressing. But it argued that like after the whole working with SPD, the SPD had actually been like run by former Rangers, and then the future SPD B team SPD had tried to take them away from their parents. And so then some of them ended up like running away, or like moving into different with different families and having to change their names and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very complex and involved, and too much for me to try and attempt to explain. But
No, we get it.
Yeah. I just wish that it hadn't painted Kruger in a bad light.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that kind of, like, Kruger, whenever he was a part of that, it more so puts Kat in the bad light, because, like, she was the one specifically who was specifically responsible for so much of the Ranger technology, which even then it kind of didn't make sense because of the command giving her own special morpher, despite her designing the morphers themselves. That made no sense to me.
Oh my gosh, I never noticed that.
Yep,
That's such a good point.
I'm a master at noticing plot holes.
How the hell do you watch Megaforce?
I don't think Linkara even pointed that out.
Oh,
I haven't the plot holes.
I haven't bothered sitting through the entirety of Megaforce yet. That's my next run. I'm not looking forward to it after Turbo.
Godspeed,
I just like to point out my friend just messaged me because he's watching the stream. He put, "This is a bad influence. I'm scrolling through eBay while listening out and bidding on loads of Zords."
Ferris Manus just donated $2.
Oh,
Brain has Leo locked in the Aqua base.
Oh no! No!
You're
not supposed to tell him that, my man. You're not supposed to tell him that.
Oh wait, you guys think that's bad? I'm drawing a close up of Disney Brain Chan.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna get so much weirder than it already was somehow.
Why am I a girl?
No, Chan is just an adore. Like, that's just supposed to be a cutesy title. It's not specific. Oh wait, yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is female. Hang on one sec. I need to draw the little sailor uniform knot on the. Okay.
But why though? Why do I gotta be a sailor?
No, it's the schoolgirl. Why do schoolgirls wear the sailor uniforms?
This entire conversation is somewhere between amusing and incredibly horrifying.
I call it incredifying.
Oh boy.
What was that?
Josh, why would you do this?
What do you think? Brain is fat.
Can we just point out I'm in the podcast and I paid to write
that? That's too good.
Yeah, I think that's the only way that we can.
Pounds.
Oh my god, that's
I
right.
don't even know what that
That's
translates
more than
to.
dollars.
You just paid him like
So take this in
like
context.
$2.30. You paid him like an extra
Oh my
30 cents or
God.
something.
Ew, thank you, my man Josh. Yeah, that's very generous. Thank you.
I just wanted to stop.
Are you guys ready to see the horrifying nature that is Disney Branch?
Yeah, but before
No,
that, let's let New Millennial get through his 6 Rangers.
Oh,
Yeah,
good. You remember I exist.
Yes.
I have to do any editing touches anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, so far my favorite 6 Ranger introduction was actually Robo Knight. I actually really liked his design. The environment. I liked the beginnings. I saw the beginnings of a good character there. Just that, Megaforce being Megaforce did nothing with it, but I like the introduction, the way he kind of represented RoboCop in a way.
Like he was supposed to represent justice.
Yeah, kind of like that. I saw the beginnings of a good character there. And but my overall favorite 6 Ranger has to be like Eric. Definitely, he's one of the. I don't see Eric as necessarily like a bad person. Necessarily, he just needs to learn to kind of work with others or or trust people.
Yeah, no, he was
people outside of his father's outside of Mr. Collins.
Yeah, he was never a bad person, and that's why him and the birds and his neighbors, like, it showed that he still, like, despite how cold he acted, he really was just a human.
Yeah, he was. And also thought the Q-Rex was really, really dope.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I shit my pants when I was a kid.
Q-Rex, the battle mode for Q-Rex is probably one of my favorite Zords, but we can talk about Zords later as well. But in the meantime, Brain, would you like to do the honors and show my my abomination?
Oh my god! Why is that the face?
Right, Phantom Ranger existed because he was sent from actual Elfard in order to assist the Turbo Rangers whenever facing off against the forces of evil. As for existence, who knows? All right, everybody, I like to present to you the glorious Brain Chan.
Viewers.
All the viewers are gonna disappear.
Well, we got 36. I bet you we're gonna lose 1 but gain 2. Everybody wants it. Zoom in. You're gonna have to zoom in so they get the whole experience.
Is this not zoomed enough?
It's good.
I think it's zoomed enough.
3, 2, 1, and execute order 66.
Oh my lord.
66.
Is that what Leo looks like with the big gay? No, this is Brain Chan. Can I call my mom?
Call my mom.
Yes, call your parents. Tell them you love them.
Her head is slightly transparent. Yes, it is because the brain inside.
Oh, that's a good I didn't even get that.
Yeah, no, that's why I made the whenever this glorious thing is forced to fade away, like on the stream, you'd never noticed why that's the white brain outline on the Disney logo.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no. Yeah, if you like scroll back somewhere else in the stream, you're gonna see like the brain on the blue and the black, and that's supposed to be like because it's transparent.
Yeah, there we go. I removed the picture.
Yeah.
Make this your new profile pic. Haters will say it's fake. Oh. I wish to share the same fate as Zordon. Just end it for me.
Oh no. No.
Tahu says, what has been burned into my brain as of this moment?
I'm sorry, Tahu.
Brain, I want you to understand. We just gained 4 followers, 4 watchers.
Oh my god.
We just lost 2 more. We lost 3. We lost 3 of them.
Everybody got the big gay now.
There we go. We're back to the original. Shall we get Thanos? Shall we get Thanos for you, Ryan? No,
reality
Timothy,
can
not
often
18 and
be
over
disappointing.
Yet. It's not 18 and over yet.
Yet?
It's not?
No.
Wait, what are we talking about next? What's going on?
Well, why don't we talk about
we're gonna talk about how I also draw very adult things.
I don't
the big gay. I run everything. So.
Were there other topics? I feel like there were other topics.
Oh yeah, favorite Zords.
Favorite Zords?
Mm-hmm. Zords.
I really liked the Jungle Pride Megazord because they had to do the had to do the actual fighting to make the Zord do what they were doing, and they had to do it all in sync.
Yeah, I like that they did that, and that was the first of many to do that. The only problem is that whenever RJ joined the team, that pretty much made Lily's Zord useless.
I know, that was so sad.
Sad boy. You think that it would have become like an armament thing, like the other, like the Jungle Masters, or even just another Megazord base, like the Conga Zord. Whenever they did that.
Yeah.
Swap Megazord for me.
Really?
Yeah.
It turns into a giant gun.
That's true.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's small, so it's fast compared to every other Zord, and it turns into a massive gun. How is that not cool?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the flyers themselves are cool.
I think mine has to be the Croc Carrier, the not high octane Valvemax Megazord. That was because honestly, like I thought it was kind of concerning that they are still in the separate cockpits, just being flung around in the arms, but like I really enjoyed how the black and green actually worked well with the orange, even though the Shark Zord is technically a dolphin from Go-Ongers, but like it just fits so much nicer, you know.
Nice.
Especially because they were the two who called the Croc Carrier together.
Yeah.
Next.
So my favorite Zord is my favorite Zord is the Lost Galaxy one.
Yeah.
Galactic.
Really much of a reason. I think it's mainly because those were the first Zords that were considered alive.
That's true.
Yeah. And there's actually a whole plot line in Gingaman, actually, from I see the episode previews, like those Zords are like kind of like the centerpiece of like the first third of Gingaman. And you don't even see the Megazord in Gingaman until episode 8 or 9.
Yeah, so it's just too late in the season.
But I really like that it shows that I really prefer the seasons that don't immediately have like a sword.
Oh yeah, exactly. Side note before we get to Brain's favorite Zord, there's we all know about the Tommy Olive Garden joke. Apparently somebody in the podcast is named Boba Fettuccine.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Riot, yeah, no, I love the Lightspeed, the Lightspeed train Zord.
Oh, the super train is amazing.
The way it just towered over the bad guys was
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, believe it or not though, the first ever Power Rangers toys that I had were the Mystic Force, like there was a Mystic Force Halloween costume and the Battleized Nick, but I somewhere in my attic I still have the legs and both feet for the Lightspeed Megazord.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
My first was Zord I owned was the Z Omega Zord and the Turbo one. And for the longest time, I did not know that that the toys, that part of the toys I owned were the Z Omega Zord, because at the time I never saw Zeo.
Oh yeah. Plus they look nothing like the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that too.
Draw a picture of you guys kissing. Don't worry, Drive. I'm on it.
I
What?
also liked Mystic.
Wait, who
What?
kissing?
Who do you think, Brain?
Oh my god. At least give me a picture with
I
one of
also
my
like-
actual waifus.
Tommy Olive Garden. Free breadsticks with every enemy you destroy.
Good one, Ryan.
Rangers only. Racism.
Now everybody wants breadsticks.
That's rangist.
Take the Zord. Leave the cannoli.
This is becoming too PG-13. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Get drawing. Make this 18.
18 plus event. Tara, get out. I'm kidding. I'm
Well,
kidding. Please
I'm
say Tara.
17.
Oh dear.
Wait.
Well, never mind.
Get out, kid.
Hey, you think that stops me?
Adults talking, yo.
No,
How
it's
many of
not
us could
stopping.
actually stay in the actual chat if it were over 18? I know I could.
That's why I made my adult thing 17 plus.
Ah.
Because there's a difference between being an adult and being an adult. That's
What
a
is
different
that?
conversation.
Yeah.
That's a very
we
different
have-
conversation.
Well,
Not exactly. I
well,
like the way that your name
already.
is done. Still have your Falcon Zords and other Ninja Ranger Zords. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
Every
that's
time
awesome.
Brain gives Leo a free breadstick, Leo gives
Oh.
them a free pounding.
Oh wow.
That is graphic.
Drive, I swear to God, if you do any more of those, can you weed? Like any more of those like weeaboo baby talk things, I'm gonna kill you.
And you say we haven't reached the above 18 part yet.
Oh, we've crossed several lines this stream.
Don't forget that that Vampeneze. Don't forget what his donation message said.
Yeah, we'll never forget. We will never forget.
Brain, we got a second dislike somewhere,
Oh no.
but
See
we
what
got
you do.
67 likes.
Brain is fapping while watching Kendricks and Leo.
Oh,
Best
my.
I
£2
did not need that image in my mind. I did not need either of those images in my mind.
To be fair, Clear Canvas,
I
you
did
kind
not
of
even
started it
need
with the
either of those
voyeurism
images
implication.
combined in my mind.
I'm clearly the most mature one here. I'm 16. Not wrong.
You're only 16.
I'm 20.
I'm British. That's my
Why?
reason for being mature. We don't mature.
Nah,
That's just a fact.
I'm clearly the most mature one here, and I'm 16. Yeah, sure thing, Tara. You're the one encouraging my behavior. That's not very mature of you.
She is. She is.
For example, I'm going to. We just passed 69 likes. Who here is going to laugh?
We're at 70 now.
Exactly.
Oh.
Everybody except me laughed, and I'm laughing because I didn't laugh. Ryan says, Alpha, we will post
Yeah, we'll
has
post.
escaped Ulu, find me a group of teenagers with attitude.
Weeaboo Repulsa. Oh no.
Weeba.
The Emma voice.
Wait, Weeda Weebpulse.
Nani?
Oh my. What Zeddy Weddy.
Ah, Yokata.
Wayne, go faster.
Hey, you guys.
Gotta go fast.
No. No, that's one part of Disney we don't touch on. Oh my god, we're gaining so many likes. Why?
Oh my lord.
We just got up to 73.
Because you brought attention to it. Now everyone's gonna like it because they want to feel part of the meme.
Okay, okay, we're I didn't talk about my Megazords yet. Okay. Honestly, I really loved so many of them, but oh wait, no, I did. I said the Valve Max Megazord.
Yeah. You mentioned the
Yeah,
no,
that's what
I was
that's
worried
what
that I mixed your voice up for somebody else's.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that. Memory loss. That's kind of why, like, I made my Zords themed around. Oh, Vampeneze, no.
What?
Oh my god!
You have to thank him for the 2 pounds, though.
Thank you
Oh my
so
god, no!
much,
It's
Vampeneze,
because
for the 2 pounds.
it's 2 pounds, literally.
Oh my god! That's too
I hate
funny.
my life.
That's too fucking funny.
I've got more money.
Oh
than
my
sense.
god. Oh my god, the emotion, the gif that it's using. It's horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, but that's like I made most of my Zord designs based on like RPM and like some aspects of RPM and Samurai. How like Samurai they folded, but
Yeah.
like most instead of that they like come apart in different ways.
Yeah. I kind of based most of the designs, well, kind of their designs kind of just in my head at the point for like a much later edition of Chronic Storm where the Rangers do eventually get Zords, and they're essentially all spaceship theme, but they're based off of different kinds of spaceships, so it made sense.
Like
to me.
so like kind of like the V missiles. I mean the V vehicles.
Yeah, basically that.
Like V1 through 5 and in space, how they were like there was the shuttle, the Okay, I think I can actually design that for you if you don't mind.
Oh, you're the best. But there's got to be a silver one too. Spoiler alert.
Okay, that's a spoiler. But wait a minute. So at that point is Jason going to take up the red morpher? I'm not gonna ask what happens to Carter because that's gonna be way more of a spoiler.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want this spoiler.
Yeah, we can talk about this later. We can talk about
What?
this later, like, so it doesn't have to be a spoiler for anyone else.
Gotcha. I wonder how many people are gonna watch this afterwards because this is nearing a 4-hour long podcast.
I'm watching it.
Wait,
after
4 hours?
It's been 3.5 hours since we started.
Actually, now that you mention that, there's a lot of people that watch the streams I've already done after the fact. Like, both of the previous streams I've done have over 1,000 views.
Yeah, that's why I just looked on that and like, the silver version does. I mean, if it's Pokemon Silver, then not many people would tune into that. But like, even then the regular, it just says the Disney Brain stream that already has twice as many.
Oh, nice! Look at that. We're doing so well.
Yeah, but like, if we're actually talking about Power Rangers, then that's probably going to get more people.
Zangetsu, check in the Discord and just go to Chronic Storm discussion.
Yeah.
It should be the one thing pinned there.
No, there's the pin. Pinned message. Check out my Wattpad. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had that much time to read for personal reasons.
Yeah, no problem. No rush.
Yeah, I'll eventually get into it again, but like even then, like fan fictions and reading on its own is just such a hassle for me now, and I really wish that it wasn't because I used to love reading. I used to be like one of those mega AR kids whenever I was in elementary. Because if anybody remembers what AR points are, shout out to you.
And the thing about reading for me is like, it's so taxing. It's always reading as an activity has always been very taxing for me, but writing not as much. It's almost the polar opposite.
Yeah. Timothy says
for me, it's the other way around.
Leo Braindrakes would be considered a harem, I think. No. Zachariah, hi, you're in a really weird discussion right now.
What's up, Zachariah? How you doing?
Hold on, what?
You know what? For the next stream, you know how okay, if you can set this up on OBS, you can have like a miniature screen capture bubble thing to capture who all is speaking, like because the the lights on the Discord thing. Yeah. That would probably be best to keep open for so people don't lose track of who's who whenever you're talking on the next podcast.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It was actually something I was thinking about, but I wasn't sure how to go about it. But yeah,
it's weird because you're gonna have to keep Discord open in like a separate tab while you do that, and like have a screen capture thing zeroed in on that because reasons.
God, wait, is it just because I've paused?
I'm lost.
Go faster, please, Blaine.
How much?
I got arrow. I don't know.
Wait. Did you see
My
Race
favorite
Jacobson's comment?
Did you see Soundwave's comment? My favorite villain in the show is the divorce monster. It was also my parents' favorite.
Oh,
You guys,
we've gotten to that point.
So side note, this reminds me of it. Does anybody remember that horrible abomination, Angela Anaconda? Speaking of Digimon, thank you, Zachariah.
Oh my God!
Nope.
Yeah, I read a thread on 4chan. I don't even have a 4chan. It's one of the green texts.
Every single time I watch the Digimon movie.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody wrote a green text about how Angela Anaconda made their parents get a divorce. Because like they were crying in the theater because Angela Anaconda came on instead of the Digimon movie, and they were horrified, and then like they started arguing and everything went downhill from there.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh. It seems to me though that there was probably more going on than just that fight.
No, you
So-
need to understand.
Point, yeah.
In the story, the impression that he gave off was their relationship was fine until he started crying as if one of them didn't care enough about the child's well-being, and then it went downhill from there.
Huh.
I feel like legitimately, like in real life, it'd have to like a marriage wouldn't end over one fight. It would end over
Well, you'd think
microaggressions
so.
that build up to a fight.
Well, one of my old friends, his parents' relationship ended because he turned gay, and one argument was needed.
Well, I mean, but that's also like a bigger problem because it could, like, it has to do with how one parent versus the other parent may have been raised to raise their kids.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot going into it. It's more than just one fight.
No, I get it, but I never said it was just one fight, but I'm saying that was the first fight was after they saw that movie.
Ow.
Yeah.
That
Figured that was...
That would have made a better movie than the actual Digimon movie.
How dare you, sir?
How dare you?
That movie is free of flaws.
The first, I actually genuinely like the first.
I love that movie.
I genuinely think the first half is good.
I prefer the second half though because Terriermon's golden digi egg, that was awesome.
Yeah, but at that point I kind of just like tuned it. I didn't like the story of it at the second.
Yeah, that's fair. But did anybody remember the second Digimon movie where
that was barely 30
not Diaboromon. What's the name of the Digimon in that movie again?
Revenge of Diaboromon.
Diaboromon, right? He came back, and I loved it. Because like, I mean, he had the extra evolution, but then like they made so much more of a deal because like that was instead of Omnimon being the main fusion, that was it was kind of like how the Ninja Rangers, in comparison to the Rangers visiting what's her name. To save Zordon from Ivan Ooze. It was kind of like that, but you know.
The Digimon movie had a lot of great quotes, though.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Did you see
kissing
that?
my sister.
No, I was sleeping, but you're driving.
Oh my god. What was Davis's name in the Japanese show? Like in the Japanese dub?
No idea.
Wasn't it just Guy or something? He had a boring name. I remember that.
Well, that's why you don't remember it.
Soundwave says, actually, the reason they divorced was because my mom couldn't fit in the Pink Ranger costume. She was kind of built like Divatox's submarine.
Okay.
It's getting real personal now.
Jesus.
I do not know what to say.
Everybody's saying Daisuke. Oh, Daisuke, thank you. Not Davis, thank you. I do not know why I didn't. I thought it was something boring like Guy. Yes, thank you, guys. I see it's Daisuke.
No, I don't think he gets it, guys. Everyone spam Daisuke in the chat.
Is this payback for making Brain Chan?
All the payback.
Team 4 Stars Digimon Abridged was great. Oh my god, that was amazing.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Oh my god, yeah.
Feels so out of place.
Print that shit. I still I finally got through Hellsing Ultimate Abridged and I loved it because like the guy who voices Alucard just made it so worth it. Not to mention what all he did with the work on Cell, and it was just amazing.
According to Drive Motions, you've got some competition from your brother.
Oh,
wait, what?
No, not my brother Brian. How could he do this to me?
Girly voice. Yeah, you do that girly voice. That was so bad. Okay, wait, what's that? I got Facebook ping. Oh, it was sorry, one of my cosplay friends just announced what she's doing for Techo.
I'm shipping Brain and Kendricks right now. Imagine the fanfics.
Oh god.
So you're gonna write another super chat now?
Brain definitely has them already.
I'm so proud of this community.
Sorry, what happened? I wasn't paying attention. What? Couple weeks ago. Oh, nice job. Exactly about the about getting to meet them. I still can't believe about GDF. That's
Speaking of which, I assume that most of the people in the chat already knew this, but meeting Valerie Vernon was, I don't even know if I have the proper words to describe how just surreal it felt. Like, it's gonna sound cliche, but I literally felt like when I was talking to her, everything else just disappeared. And just wow.
She doesn't have a Wikipedia page on her. That's neat.
That is a tragedy.
Wait, she's got a Ranger wiki.
Fapping over her.
Oh my god.
I swear to God.
I'm British. It's all humour.
Oh.
It's weird that she was both in Time Force and Lightspeed Rescue because there's like such a drastic difference.
Wait, she was in Time Force?
Yeah, she voiced the monster in Time Force.
What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm just gonna say this now. I really hated that they brought back Corone twice with the Galaxy Pink Ranger powers. Because honestly, I think Corone should have she should have been there for like her own thing instead of just Galaxy Pink. I mean, she was gonna be Galaxy Purple.
I was hoping
they were gonna make her the first Purple Ranger.
I was hoping they would at least officially ship her with Zane. Corone and Zane.
Yeah, there's the whole them trying to date during In Space was the most hilarious thing.
Oh my god, yes.
When Andros was trying to sneak away from Ranger duty.
You mean Zane?
You mean Zane?
You said Andros.
Yeah, oh my god! Oh my god!
We do not promote incest here.
No. Oh.
We say that even though we were talking about Digimon.
Unless we take the Ranger family theory as like literally.
Do I want to know what the Ranger family theory is?
No, it's just that,
no.
like the Rangers are all like a family.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah, we're not even gonna talk about the ethnicity controversy there.
It's not a biological family. It's like the
I'm
found
making a
family
joke.
trope.
That was a joke.
Oh.
That was a joke.
Whoops.
I'm proud of you.
My head
What
cannon.
Well, Canvas, you already put yourself as a racist, so.
Yeah, I was.
Remember, chat. Remember what he said about the blacks.
Don't like the black.
Yeah, that's literally taking me out of context. I don't like the Black Ranger suits in comparison to the rest of the team.
That's why
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
doing
Perfect
quotes
context.
with ellipses is just not fair.
By the way, what
There's
happened
the
to
theory that
Default
Danny
Drive?
from Wild Force is the father of Z from SPD because they share the same last name. Wait, what? Oh,
Uh-huh.
Delgado, Z Delgado.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, no, that'd be grandfather, right?
No, it wouldn't.
No,
Well,
it'd be her
Oh.
dad because
Yeah, no,
2025.
So then, would it be
How
her
old
mother
is
that was
Z?
part of SPD? Soundwave, no.
I
Soundwave,
mean,
no.
in theory, it could be.
Did you guys
It
just
could still be Danny because
Zangetsu,
be-
no?
and
Both of you
still
guys
work for
know.
SPD.
Sweet
Soundwave
home
just-
Alabama. Where the skies are so blue.
Take me home, country road.
Oh, not
To
exactly
the
as
place.
which was goofier, Zane and Corone or Lucas and Nadira.
Oh my lord.
Well, at least Zane was trying. I gotta admit, it was fun to. Can you do my laundry? Am I dirty?
Oh my god.
I mean, the
That was-
picnic though.
The picnic was adorable.
Oh my god, yes.
When's that? one of
Oh my
the
god,
best
or no.
moments.
My favorite thing about that whole thing was Rancic, like, no, not this one.
Not the blue one. Oh, but my favorite part is like
Yeah,
the crush. Is that the line he says when it all starts? It's like,
Yep.
Daddy, I have met the most amazing boy. It's like, oh, tell me more. Well, he's a ranger. And Rancic's like, a ranger? I'll grind him to dust. I always love
Yeah, no,
that
that's
line.
that's the thing though, is that like, it's weird because he's the that was the only time that he was ever like, okay, you know the stereotype where like the dad kills the daughter's boyfriend,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or at least holds him at gunpoint. It was like that, but like, actually capable of doing it because he took out the red guy. Why not the blue?
Well, if you notice, actually, Rancic actually protects Lucas in that
Can you two
episode.
kiss Leo eat a dandelion? What are you talking about, Drive?
Oh boy.
How about Jakina and Mike? What?
Tina and Mike. What? Did I
What?
miss
Was that a thing? No.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It actually confirmed that in a convention that they aren't related. Oh, that's a shame.
No, I'm taking it as
Rancic are like Magneto in terms of misanthropic mutants. Fight Me in Space has best theme song. Ooh, we should. Alright, because we are almost at 4 hours, let's have this as the last discussion topic and then go.
All right.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got.
Alrighty.
It's
Oh,
4
God, I
o'clock
hate
in the
it.
morning.
It's
Lord.
what?
Oh, it's 4 o'clock in
Oh,
the
that's-
morning for you.
That's right, it's England for you.
Oh my lord.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. I've had like 5 energy drinks.
Oh, I've just got insomnia. That's fun.
Get some sleep, man.
Uh,
I guess-
Ray
I'm a
says
master of
Ray
it. I
says
don't know what-
RPM is the best theme.
Wait, which one? The demo?
Oh,
or
dear.
the...
No, I think he's talking about the official release.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
think- okay,
I'll go
my
so that like you can get to bed.
Wait, alright,
Um,
I'm fine.
yeah.
So my favorite theme is either Jungle Fury or Dino Thunder, because both of them, like the Dino Charge theme, get better every time I hear them.
There's a light in the distance.
See it coming closer
With the
with the
force
force
of
of
ages.
ages.
Centuries gone by.
Protectors
Protectors
of the
of the
right.
right.
Defense sworn to fight. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay, alright, who's next?
Perfecting sync.
Okay, okay, I think mine would have to be either, I'm at like, for the official ones, my favorites are the Lightspeed Rescue because it's like it's just so thematic and really rocking and got you excited for every episode.
I like that.
And then there's Mystic Force for being so damn catchy.
Lightspeed, I like that.
Because boom, here come the Power Rangers, boom, here come the Power Rangers. And then as for
I like that.
as for the non-used ones, both of the RPM songs were just so amazing.
This is the last.
I recommend you check them out.
Power Rangers RPM, let's go.
Or even then, where was it? Is anybody out there? Yes, we are. Can anybody
I've not heard that one.
Yes, we can. Yeah, it's I'll send you the link to it. It's the second one.
I like that. The one I was just singing. The way this is the last. I'll rate like I've got that on my phone.
Okay. I'm gonna. All right. First, who else needs to share their? I mean, we all know Brains is SPD, but still.
Yeah, mine is Time Force. I just like the speed of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
Race into
another time.
Guys, don't sing. You guys, you guys can't.
Online.
Okay.
Timeless wonders, fire and thunder, off to save the world. Go, Time Force, Time Force, Power Rangers, Time Force, Power Rangers, Time.
Okay. Okay, guys.
You guys can't keep a beat.
Okay.
Anyway, as for my favorite non-Ranger soundtrack, non-theme soundtrack, I have to say it's Hope for the World. There's hope for the world. That plays in the Turbo movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Turbo movie having its own theme song.
Hope for the world. Hope for the world. The Turbo actually, if you ask me, has the best overall soundtrack. There are a bunch of really.
It was pretty good, to be honest. Yeah.
No, not just the main theme song. There's
I get it.
New Rangers to the Rescue, Invincible.
Yeah. Okay. Is anybody else need to share?
Me, but I'm just slow. I'm going through them all in my head.
I think I'm going to gaze into your mind with your favorite season being Dino Thunder and all. It's probably going to either be the Dino Thunder or Dino Charge theme because they were both amazing.
I've got to admit, I really like Lost Galaxy.
Yeah.
Is that
That one wasn't. Honestly, I didn't really care for that one.
It's a different type of vibe, but I think you needed a different type of vibe for the different type of season.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. It didn't really fit with how, because that one was so lighthearted, but being a serious season, and the next one being so serious, yet all the characters were made to be lighthearted, despite the serious situation around them.
But also, they couldn't have a depressing theme song.
Well, no, that's why both of the RPM ones were scrapped, because you can't say the last stand for humanity or fighting for the survival of humankind.
It's either Lost Galaxy, Time Force, Jungle Fury, or Dino Charge.
All very good choices.
Jungle Fury is just so fast paced.
I listened to the Dino Charge theme song maybe like 50 times the first time I ever heard it before Dino Charge even premiered.
Yeah, that's the thing though, is that the Beast Morphers one is growing on me. I'll admit.
I hate it.
It's really growing on me because I really
hate it.
I hope that they release a long version.
Me too.
Because it's short. It's so short that I still haven't gotten it stuck in my head yet.
It doesn't feel very complete. The other songs,
we fight with Beast Morphin line. Together we ride. Cal4, welcome to the Brain Gang.
Yay!
I'm doing your job.
And right as Oz says, don't forget to watch the Disney Braid on YouTube. He does that a lot.
Okay. All right, we're not getting into a console war right now. We'll We'll save that for the podcast that I'm not in, because there's supposed to be 3, right?
Yeah.
3 total, and I'm gonna end up being in 2 of them because of reasons of someone dropping out.
Oh no, this is the podcast that someone dropped out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I remember somebody dropped out of this, and you said it was either going to be like 2 streams of 5 people or like something like that.
It was never going to be 5 people. That would have been, I think, too crowded.
Exactly. I mean, it is 5 people right now.
I mean, like 5 people, and not including myself.
Yeah. So, yeah, whatever. I know that one of them is probably going to end up shorthanded though, because there were how many winners to the how many runner-ups to the contest?
There's 11 people total on the Braincast server, so 10 runner-ups.
Yeah. So yeah. Wait, did what's his name actually respond to you, by the way? I think, was it Wild Ranger or something about accepting his winning position?
Oh, you mean Cole? Yeah.
Yeah, Cole. Okay.
Yeah, we're working on that video as we speak.
Oh, nice.
Well,
cool.
Not really as we speak, but you know what I'm saying.
Cole Evans, Wild Force Ranger.
There's a bunch of dabs in the chat. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I said Wild Ranger. I don't know why, but I think it's because Cole. Cole
Evans, Wild Force Ranger. It all makes sense. We see the connections you're making. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like he killed his roommate or anything.
Ooh.
We don't talk. No, dude, no.
Please, let's not talk about that. I'd prefer.
It's the end of this. It's the end of the podcast, and we don't really even know all the facts from the case.
Whatever the heck happened.
Yeah.
I just found I laughed when I found out. That's all I'm gonna say.
You got to admit though, Decker and Grum were amazing villains, despite them being kind of lackluster as heroes.
Yeah, but Grum actually got something done with it. His plan.
No, I'm saying like in comparison to the actors, you know.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Let's. Brain, if you want to do the honors, it's been 4 hours since we started.
Awesome. Yep, nearly 4 hours now. Well, thank you to all of the viewers. You're all lovely. Thank you for being so energetic and participating to our at times not safe for work chat. And a special thank you to, of course, everyone here who participated and their wonderful contributions to the conversation. It was an amazing experience, and I didn't know how well my first time hosting a podcast would go, but you guys made it an incredible thing. So thank you for that.
What? Hello.
Yeah, Tara, we started like at 7:15, 7:30ish. It's 11 o'clock for us.
It's been 3 hours and 46 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're tired.
And we even birthed a new meme.
Yeah, and that's Brainchan. And we need somebody. If I can't make something good enough, then we need somebody to make it an emote for the Discord.
Oh
just a blushing little Disney icon.
Oh my!
Tara, get on it.
Yeah, Tara.
Sorry, Tara. Why do I keep saying Tara? I know. I have a friend named Mara and a friend named Kara. It's weird.
I'm Indian and I say Tara. I'm Indian and I say Tara.
I don't mean to say Tara. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, good night, guys. I hope you all get some sleep.
All right. Catch you later.
Yeah.
Ironically, it's the holidays where I sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in the call if anybody wants to keep talking, but the stream has been going on for long enough.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone on YouTube, and join my Discord if you want to talk to fellow Brainer fans more.
Wait, is it in the description? It's not.
It's not.
It's not in the description.
Never mind. None of you invited.
All right, everybody. I'll comment a share link if I have access to it, or somebody will, and it'll probably get pinned. Just have a good night. Enjoy the haunting memories of Brainchan and Leo Senpai.
Oh my god.